Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. Let's get this show on the road. We've already got somebody trying to call in on TikTok. Give me just a moment. I'll bring you up. We see some bitch-made trolls in the chat. Jay, I'm talking to you. Why aren't you requesting to call in? You scared, little buddy? So many of these African migrants have such a vested interest in our heritage. So many of these Europeans think that they can dictate lineage to us. So many of these pan-goofies who haven't even traced their family's genealogy want to act like they know the genealogy of all of Black America. I mean, now's your time to click the link, call in. Don't be shy. I'm not going to reach through the internet and pimp slap you. That's not feasible. Lord knows if I could, I would. If I could, I would. Let's go ahead and get this party started. For the folks on YouTube, if you want to call in, I'm going to post a StreamYard link in the chat in just a second. Let me get these cards up here. As always, guys, make sure to check out the website, nativeblackancestry.com. Tons of genealogy resources available for you. Let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have. We already got folks piling in on YouTube. We've already got a very active chat over on TikTok. Again, for the folks on YouTube, if you want to call in, I just posted the StreamYard link in the chat. For folks on TikTok, you should already know how to call in. You should already know. We already got somebody backstage on TikTok. When I bring you up, and who is this again? Who is this? Oh, JR, this is a call-in show. Go ahead and call in. I'm not going to be answering questions in the chat. We got 3 different live streams going on right now. We're giving preference to live callers. Ink and Melodies, when I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Okay. Oh, what's up, Mike?
How you doing?
I just wanted to, because I already put a couple of people onto your website, so I was looking at the surname.
Time out. Respectfully. First question is, where are you calling in from? Then you let us know what's on your mind. Go ahead, unmute yourself. You have the floor.
I'm calling in from Chicago.
All right, go ahead. You were saying something about the website?
Yeah, so we was looking at your website and stuff. It's real, like, I love the archives. And I was looking at the surnames, but I had, as I'm going through my family names, I don't see, okay, so I see variations of the spelling, but I don't see the current spelling right now. Does that mean that they are not a part of, that's not their names, or they're not?
Oftentimes our ancestors had multiple names they went by and multiple spellings of their names, so that's not out of the ordinary.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I have a few family members who have similar spellings, but it's not the same name, or they have a shortened spelling of what it was, or what you have on there.
I got you. I see.
That's all I really wanted to know, because I was like, man, maybe it could be wrong for me, but that's really what it was.
Yeah. No, if you look at even one of your ancestors who was, born in the 1800s, you'll see on census records multiple spellings of the same name. Or you'll see sometimes, especially if they have a middle name, some census records may refer to them with the middle name as the first name. Next decade that they do the census, it shows the first name, then a middle. I mean, these folks was doing a whole lot of tricky shit with the census records. So we have to understand this is by design. This is to try to hide our heritage. There's no way that European federal census takers didn't know how to properly spell our ancestors' names.
Right. So is there a way it could be like Johnson and then it turn into to Johns?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that before. Yeah.
Okay, and Franklin to like Frank too. Okay, that's what I was trying to find out, because I was looking at those things and I seen my family name. My mama started looking at hers through Texas, and I was looking at my daddy's side through Mississippi, and that's why I was lost.
I got you. Well, hey, if you need personalized guidance, you already know what to do.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna click that link, but thank you though.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, system.
You're welcome.
All right, peace.
'Cause
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the night is young. This is a live call-in show. The prompt is as follows. Latinos and Africans have the biggest identity crisis. Black Americans are indigenous to America. Prove me wrong. Call in. If you're a Latino and you disagree with the prompt, call in and let us know how you don't really have an identity crisis, even though you're cosplaying as a descendant of an Aztec princess when really you descend from a Spanish conquistador that forced himself on some Filipino and African slaves. If you're an African that disagrees with the prompt, go ahead and call in and let us know how you don't have an identity crisis, even though the only thing the continent of Africa has ever had going for themselves is their alleged kinship to us. Oh, damn. Damn, did he just say that? Yeah, I did. Come on, y'all. The night is young. We've got several people over on YouTube. I see Empress in the building. Nice to see you. We got John in the building. John says, this is why we have land here and everybody wants to come to America. Absolutely. Earlier today, I had him up. You guys will not believe me if I told you this. Earlier today, I had a first-generation migrant from Greece try to call in and tell me that we all come from Africa because he could tell what country people come from by just looking at them. Yeah, guys, forget the fact that we do genealogy. Forget the fact that we have paper trails going into the 1700s, 1600s. We have first-generation migrants saying, hey, I can tell just by looking at you, you're African, so you're African. What? Huh? Okay. That shit was bananas. I had like 3 or 4 Africans call in earlier today talking about Africa is the motherland. But these Africans were calling in from, the UK, America. Like, yo, if Africa's the motherland, why don't none of you motherfuckers want to live in Africa? Why you running from your mama? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Y'all flee from Africa and try to convince us that we should go there because somehow our roots are there. Motherfucker, you not slick. You just want to trade places. That's all. You just want to trade places. And I get it. I understand why. Because you can't get shit popping in your homeland. There are 54 African countries, and they can't find a single one to be successful in. So they go to Europe. They come to America. They go to New Zealand. They go to Australia. They be EBA. Everywhere but Africa. But Let's Go says, how can I hop in here? You just have to request to join. Chat, if you guys can give him instructions on how to request to join as a guest in the TikTok chat. I mean, I'm surprised that some folks don't know how to do it. I'm new to TikTok and even I know how to do it. But yeah, guys, let him know how he can request to join to be brought up on the panel. I'm pretty sure there's 2 circles, 2 rings interlocked or something, and you click that button. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And guys, make sure to check out the website, nativeblackancestry.com. I built it out with tons of genealogy resources. Just like the last caller was saying, I have a digital archive with over 600 documents, family photos, newspaper clippings, ex-slave interviews, Indian slave ads. You can download these documents to your phone, to your computer, share them on social media. Come on, y'all. And you know what's crazy? You know what's nuts? I have so much evidence to support my claims. I have so much evidence to prove definitively that we are indigenous to America. And I would love to show you guys the evidence. But you know what? When you foreigners call into my show trying to question our heritage, the burden of proof is not on me. The burden of proof is on you. So as long as one of you detractors can call in and cite a single source to support your claim that we all come from Africa, if you can cite a single source, then guess what I'll do? I'll show you 12 to support my claims. All you got to do is show one single source, a professor, an academic, a journal. Just give me one source to support your claim that all Black Americans descend from West African slaves. And guess what? You show me one source, I'll give you 12. That's how many receipts I have. I mean, I got a whole terabyte hard drive with nothing but receipts. And it just pains me. So it pains me that oftentimes when we do these broadcasts, I don't get to show you receipts. Why don't I get to show you receipts? Because none of these callers can cite a single source to back their claim. The burden of proof is not on me. The burden of proof is on you fucking foreigners trying to come to our house telling us where we come from. Cite a source, and then I'll show you 12. Literally. Literally. We got 3 people backstage. I'm going to bring you guys up in just a moment. As I was saying, make sure to check out the website, nativebblackancestry.com. I've also got a book list with all of my primary sources. You can read a lot of these books directly through the website. No need to buy them on Amazon. And as always, if you need professional guidance with genealogy research, you can even have access to my calendar, schedule a day and time to connect with me one-on-one, where I'll teach you the 3-step process that me and my family use to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation.
Hi, my name is Frances Tuck, and I contacted Mike from Mike TV on YouTube because I wanted to find out about my family's Native American history that I believed existed. Through the research that I was able to do through Mike TV, I was able to find out that our name is indeed on the registry. I had a consultation with Mike today, and because of his advice and the research that he has done, I am now confident that I'm able to find my family's roots in the Native American History Database. Thank you, Mike.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Real people, real results.
Just finished my consultation with Mike. A lot of information in a short period of time, but it was very valuable information. I'm definitely excited to get started searching up my genealogy. He has been an awesome resource. Gave me a lot of information, a lot of things, a lot of pieces to the puzzle I didn't have. He was able to help me find them. And I 100% recommend Mike and his services to anyone who's looking to crack the code, so to speak, on their genealogy. Because there's a lot of, how we say, fake news going around with this subject. And it's very important that people are able to put the pieces together. Because if you don't know your history, you don't know your future. So 100% sign up.
Hey, let's talk about it, y'all. What are you waiting for? Go to nativebblackancestry.com and chat. You know what's so funny, TikTok chat? You know what's so funny? The same people in my chat that leave pretendian comments are the same ones too afraid to call in. And the only reason that they would be afraid to call in is because they don't have any sources to support their claims of us being pretendians. Guys, don't take my word for it. Google it. Google the term pretendian, and you will see nothing pop up but Asians and Europeans. But all of a sudden, they want to pull a psyops and try to attribute the word to us. Okay. And these same people are too chicken shit to call in. Damn. Why are you here? Why are you obsessed? We don't care about you. We don't worry about you. Shouldn't you be worried about your floating sewer of a shanty town you live in Africa? Shouldn't you worry about the poor ass rat infested favela you live in somewhere in Latin America? Shouldn't you worried about the cracked out reservation that you're struggling on somewhere in the high desert of the United States? But no, y'all be worried about us. Let's talk about it. Call in. The next caller we've got is going to be, let's see. We've got Velasco Inc. Velasco, when I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep. Where are you calling in from?
St. Louis.
All right. And
I'm
you wouldn't
a
happen to be a
self-described-
time out. You wouldn't happen to be a first, second, or third generation migrant, would you? Go ahead, unmute yourself. You've got to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Oh, that's tragic. Can you hear me now, sir?
Now we can, yeah. Are you first, second, or third generation migrant?
Second generation.
Second generation. So second generation means your parents were born here as well?
You know, that's my current understanding of it. Yeah, my parents were also born here. My grandparents are the ones that came here.
Okay, and when you say your grandparents came here, where did they migrate from?
From Mexico, central Mexico.
Okay, gotcha. And where did your family migrate from before Mexico?
Before Mexico, well, they've been in Mexico for thousands of years. That's, I think, part of the issue of what's being miscommunicated here is half of my ancestry goes to Spain. The other half has been on this continent for thousands of years.
Oh, okay. And it's interesting that you didn't open up with your Spanish heritage. You opened up with the claim of your ancestors being here for thousands of years. But when we
Yeah,
talk
that's a
about
conscious
this,
choice.
yeah. Wait, you said that's a conscious choice?
Yeah, because I understand.
I know, and that speaks to my prompt about you guys having an identity crisis. You came up here making it seem like your folks are indigenous. They've been in Mexico for thousands of years. Then you slid in, well, actually, half my family come from Spain. Yeah, I know that was a conscious decision for you not to lead with, hey, I'm half Spaniard and I think I'm half indigenous. But okay, go ahead, unmute yourself. And the only question I have before you can speak freely is, what tribe are we talking about when you say that your ancestors have been in Mexico for thousands of years? We can't hear you, sir. Yeah, we still can't hear you. I guess we'll give him like 20, 30 seconds or.
I'm not understanding why it's muting me consistently like that, but
let me mute you again so I can answer your question. I mute you because I want to, and it's my show. So if you don't like me muting you, then don't call in to talk to me. But go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know, what tribe are you claiming you descend from that's been in Mexico for thousands of years?
you're incredibly condescending, my guy. I didn't realize.
I'm not condescending. I just asked you a question. What tribe are you claiming you descend from in Mexico? Name a tribe, sir. If you name a tribe, I won't mute you.
Purepecha. Look it up. It's from the Jalisco, Guanajuato area. They are not Aztec. They're actually enemies of the Aztecs. They did not like them.
Okay. And go ahead. What's on your mind?
What's the identity crisis here? Why are you denying actual indigenous heritage? What makes you think that?
Time out. I'm muting you now because you're asking a bunch of questions in a rapid fashion. Ask one question at a time. Unmute yourself. What was your first question? Why am I doubting indigenous heritage?
Yeah, what is the issue with excluding Mexican people from being indigenous to this continent?
Who said that I'm excluding Mexican people from being indigenous to this continent?
It's in the prompt, the identity crisis. You're claiming Africans, or you're black, you're self-described black, I guess, and you're denying African heritage. So that implies that, the whole Siberian rhetoric and all the things that, this frame of.
Before you get to all these statements that we're not tracking, what makes you think that I'm doubting Mexican indigeneity?
Literally in the prompt, sir.
The prompt doesn't say anything about Mexico. It says Latinos. Latinos refer to Latin America. That refers to all of the Spanish colonies across the Americas. I'm not hyper focusing in on Mexico, sir. I think there's an identity crisis, not just with the Latinos in Mexico, but the Latinos all across the Americas. Does that answer your question?
No, it doesn't, because it's just simply mixed heritage. If you know what mestizo is, correct?
Mestizo is an invention by the political government of Mexico after the Mexican War for Independence. Mestizo is a myth. It's a myth that your president created to galvanize his people and make you guys think that you're half indigenous, half Spanish, which is why you just came up here promoting the same exact mestizo myth, saying, hey, Mike, I'm half indigenous, half Spanish. Do you want me to share my screen and give you the firsthand source of this mestizo myth? Do you want me to give you the date when your president created this mestizo class?
Mestizo isn't defined by a class itself anymore. It's literally
anymore. Let me know the date when mestizo stopped being a class.
Buddy, can we get real here? But without the.
Let's get real here, buddy. You said mestizo is not a class anymore. When did it stop becoming a class?
Mestizo still exists, whether you call it that or not. It's simply the combination.
What year did mestizo stop becoming a class, since you just claimed it's not a class?
Year is irrelevant, as I have been born here. I am.
Stop. It's not irrelevant. You just made a claim. Now back your claim.
The claim is that people exist, whether you like it or not.
Yes, I know people exist. Stupid people. I'm talking to one. What are you talking about?
Listen.
Okay, listen. This Latino is just gonna babble, and I want you guys to actually get some real history. So I'm gonna drop his dumbass and teach you guys about the mestizo myth. Check this out, y'all. I'll bring up the date real quick, since he's getting insecure. I said, sir, I can name the date. After the Mexican War for Independence, y'all created a mestizo myth claiming you're half indigenous, half Spanish. He then said, well, no, mestizo isn't a class, Mike. I said, well, what date did it stop becoming a class? And he started babbling. He refused to give an answer. Let me teach him about his people, since his abuela didn't teach him. Let's talk about it, y'all. The mestizo myth. Lord, oh Lord. Now, if you don't know about the Mexican War for Independence, and ran from 1810 to 1821. So when we talk about this mestizo myth, when we talk about this Mexican identity crisis now, it's rather recent. They weren't, since the 1400s, claiming to be half Spanish, recent years, starting 1810, they started this bullshit. They started writing in all their textbooks, miseducating their youth to believe that they're half indigenous, half Spanish. Guys, do you know how ridiculous that is? How can you try to claim to know the genealogy of all Mexicans? How can you claim that every single Mexican is a perfect split of 50% indigenous, 50% Spanish? You see why we're talking about a Latino identity crisis, guys? Check it out. The key document that spawns the mestizo myth is the Plan of Iguala, February 24th, 1821. And it promised equality amongst all inhabitants of Mexico, regardless of their origin. And that's when they started to collectively move towards an inclusive legal identity of Mexican. Guys, there's classism in Mexico, really all of Latin America. There's classism, there's racism. They had something called the blanqueamiento, where they tried to whiten their race. They had something called the major la raza, which also refers to whitening the race. To this day, they in Latin America disrespecting the darker members of their community, hiding a black grandma in the closet somewhere, but they want to get online claiming they're half indigenous, half Spanish. Okay. Let's talk about it, guys. This is when the mestizo myth created. The foundation for the mestizo myth is that key document I just mentioned, the Plan of Iguala, February 24th, 1821. But when the mestizo myth really kicked into full gear, is even more recent, 1910 to 1920. Mexican Revolution. You had a new national narrative that emerged. What is the Mexican Revolution? Who did they revolt from? Was the Mexican Revolution an indigenous uprising where they were trying to kick out the conquistadors? No. The Mexican Revolution was the descendants of conquistadors separating from Spain. Hey, we want to be our own thing. We don't want to be under Spanish rule anymore. Mexican Revolution was not an indigenous independent uprising. Just like the American Revolution wasn't an indigenous uprising. It was British people saying, hey, we don't want to rock with mommy and daddy in Britain no more. Same thing with the Mexican Revolution. So check it out. After the Mexican Revolution, after they got their independence for Spain, they created a new national narrative. This is the new national narrative that everybody's half European, half indigenous. Hey, notice how he got up here and literally said he's half European, half indigenous, but he didn't mention any African heritage. Yet most of the Africans during the transatlantic slave trade went to South America. Notice how he said he's half indigenous, half European, but he didn't mention any Filipino heritage when the Spanish were shipping Filipino slaves to Latin America for centuries. He is living proof of this identity crisis we speak of, but let me keep going. There was a philosopher named Jose Vasconcelos. He wrote an essay in 1925 called the Essay La Raza Cósmica, and he argued that Mexicans represented a cosmic race and a special destiny. And this is when this new cultural identity emerges. In 1930, Mexico started to change their census records and create new categories, white and mestizo. White and mestizo really became the main identity of Mexico. And to this day, we actually have 56% of Latin America identifying as just white on census records. I bet you didn't know that. Mexicans literally migrate to the US of A to this day and put on the census record that they're white. But when they want to try to question our indigenous roots, they're going to call into me and claim they're half white, half indigenous. Okay. Let's talk about it, y'all. And it's crazy how his people are from Mexico and he couldn't just drop these gems on us. He didn't want to talk about the mestizo myth. He didn't want to talk about 1810, 1920. He didn't want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. We got 4 people backstage. We're going to bring you up in just a second. But guys, you've got to understand that this Latin American identity crisis is long-standing. I guess you guys don't know about the Blancurmento. He came up here talking about he's half indigenous, half European, right? But they don't want to talk about the Blancurmento. What's the Blancurmento? The Blancurmento was a Spanish and Portuguese social, political, and economic practice of whitening the race towards an ideal whiteness. This is an image that depicts it perfectly. You would have a Black indigenous woman or an African. And you know what? It doesn't matter if they were Black indigenous. It doesn't matter if they were an African slave shipped over. The fact that they're in the Spanish colonies of America, the Spanish wanted to whiten them. So this is what they would do. They would force them to have a baby with a Spaniard. Now their child comes out a mulatto. Then they force their child to also have a baby with a Spaniard. And now in barely 2 generations, the grandbaby comes out indistinguishable from a European now. So it's interesting how the Latin American folks want to call in claiming they don't have an identity crisis when you guys literally had skin whitening policies. You guys literally have racial caste systems to this day. But you don't have an identity crisis? He claimed that he's half indigenous, half European, but you don't want to talk about that dark-skinned grandma you're hiding in the closet somewhere, huh? Oh, it would be more truthful if you came up here and said, you know what, Mike? I feel that maybe we may have some indigenous roots because my Spanish conquistador grandpappy forced himself on some Indian woman. Hey, Mike, I'm probably a mix of Filipino, African, Spanish, and indigenous. But you notice how they want to leave the Filipino out, leave the African out, and just stick to this mestizo myth? I'm half indigenous, half European. All right. Thank you for calling in and being a perfect demonstration of this Latin American identity crisis. He didn't want to come up here talking about this Major La Raza, huh? He didn't want to come up here talking about the Blancurmento, huh? He didn't want to come up here talking about the Mexican War for Independence and how Mexico's first president literally changed the textbooks, started to change census record classifications to promote a new national identity of mestizo starting in the 1900s. All right. This is getting awkward when you Latinos call in with no receipts. We're going to bring up Tyrone, then we're going to bring up Social, and then we're going to bring up Velasco again. Tyrone, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
What's going on, Mike? Yeah, hola, ¿cómo estás, Miguel?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
From Charlotte, North Carolina.
¿Qué hora es? Feliz cumpleaños aquí. ABCDEF. No.
Yeah, but I see a lot of these Latinos in the chat sitting up here calling us Pretendian and Wabo, but they themselves, when they take a DNA test, it shows directly that they're the typical admixture of African, European, Asian, and Native American. Like, I don't know why they keep denying the other ones, which is the African and the Asian part, or they'll claim the Asian stuff, but they'll deny that they got some Negroes in their family tree. But when it comes to our genetic testing, it works differently because they receive all the bulk of the Africans. We only got a tiny fraction.
If there's anyone if there's anyone who's going to have African heritage, it's going to be someone coming from South America where all the African slaves went.
Well, It wouldn't be up here in the United States because apparently all those Africans would have been bred out and lost through recombination if any of these dunce caps actually studied how DNA works, because they want to jump for the haplogroup stuff, which is irrelevant to what you are in the modern sense, which is the autosomal test. And the autosomal test is only going to tell you postbellum relatives. With that, what matters actually in the long run. Going around talking about I'm from a matriclan, petriclan, and trying to get federal recognition off of a mitochondrial haplogroup, that's not going to get you any type of tribal citizenship. You just look like a Hotep and a Miharal Raza Pan Goofy out in this motherfucker.
Hey, for all we know, if he really did his genealogy, he's an Afro-Mexican, but he want to take the Afro off, huh? He want to take the Afro off and just be Mexican.
Yeah. Hey, they love Skip Gates when he gets on to us, but they forget that he made a documentary about them hiding the Negro in their family. Yep. Okay. And he also tested a few mestizos, and some of their genetic material came back with African and less Indian DNA in them. Like Michelle Rodriguez, George Lopez, his stuff came out differently to what when you compare to Snoop Dogg and Charles Barkley, they got a large percentage of Indian in them on their DNA test. So it's funny style, and they don't even have any mainland North American Indian genetics like that. So what's up with that?
No. All I know is we got a lot of Latinos triggered by the prompt. We've got a lot of Africans triggered by the prompt. And I think they're going to call in and tell us why they're upset. But you know what, Tyrone, real quick, I'm going to keep you on the panel.
All right, bet.
But let me bring up some more people here. We've got a lot of people piling up backstage. Hold on. We've got so many people piling up backstage. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get right real quick. Let me get right. Here we go. The next person we're going to bring up, let me see. Who is this? Social Lily, we're going to bring you up. Then we're going to bring up Velasco. Then we're going to bring up Don. Then we're going to bring up Chocolate Italian. Social, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind. Okay, that was strange. Velasco is back. Velasco, what's on your mind?
Run it. Let's talk, man.
Run what?
We got to get back to it, bro. You're really first off, I want to say this, man. Let's have a genuine conversation, man. I'm not into the tit for tat gotcha moments. Let's just talk and let's be smooth and clear and concise.
I have 6 people backstage. Hurry up. Get to your point. What are we talking about?
All right, here's the deal. I don't know why you're embarrassed to be African, but you are. You were here because you exist because of 400 years of slavery. You didn't exist. You would have never been a person.
Okay. So I'm African. I'm ashamed to be African, and I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for 400 years of slavery. Okay. I got it. But the crazy thing is, instead of taking the word of a Mexican migrant, I did my family's genealogy. I actually traced my heritage. Oh, wait a minute. If you even go to my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com, let's pull this up real quick. You can scroll to the bottom of the page and you can actually see some of my ancestors, most notably Thomas Jefferson Adams Harjo, Chief Justice of the Muskogee Creek Nation, Town King, full-blooded Muskogee Creek Indian. That's my grandfather. He's not an African, but the Mexican migrant wants me to shy away from my true lineage and embrace an imaginary African heritage. Oh, yeah. My ancestors are so famous, they have books written about him. The Indian Territory, its legislators, chiefs, and leading men. My ancestor has a whole chapter about him, talking about how he was a prominent leader of a indigenous tribe that's actually federally recognized by the United States government. But wait, there's more. I'm actually also a card-carrying member of that federally recognized tribe. I'm not a member of an African tribe, dumbass. But wait, there's more. How can I prove that this man right here is really indigenous besides the book that's written about him? Well, you know what, Mexican boy? We actually have something called the Dolls Roll. You guys don't have that in Mexico. You guys have no way of tracking your indigenous members. If you actually pull up the Dolls Roll, my grandfather's roll number is 2145. Oh, there he is, Thomas J. Adams. And what does he say? It says his blood quantum is full, and he's a Creek by blood. I descend from a full-blooded Creek Indian, town king, chief justice of the Muskogee Creek Nation, but I should let a Mexican migrant tell me that I'm really an African, huh? Guys, I have some German heritage. Don't have no African heritage. I've got ancestors coming from multiple tribes in the Southeast. None of them are coming from African tribes, but we should take the word of a Mexican migrant who couldn't get shit popping in Mexico, so they fled to our ancestral homeland, and now they're trying to tell us that they know who we are and where we come from. Meanwhile, we actually do something called genealogy, dumbass. Damn, and it's crazy because when I brought him back, the first thing he said was run it. And you just got ran through, Playboy. Tyrone, what do you think about this? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yo, it's crazy work how you got these quote unquote fry breads in the comments still in denial when you show your stuff. They calling you all type of pretendians, but your ancestors called full blood and he's Negro approaching. And it's crazy work because even our oppressor,
they'll come over here, call me a pretendian, but they won't go tell Uncle Sam that when Uncle Sam says I'm an American Indian, huh?
Exactly.
Why don't you go to the United States government and say, hey, this guy Mike, who you guys say is an American Indian, really, we think he comes from Africans. See how that works for you. Why don't you go to my tribal nation, the Muskogee Creek Nation? Why don't you call them and say, hey, your tribal member Mike, yeah, we think he's secretly an African. You should kick him out of the tribe. What are we talking about? Hey, it's gonna be a cold day. Hey, it's gonna be a cold day in hell when I let a Mexican migrant tell me who I am and where I come from. Homeboy, if I want some tamales, I'll get at you. If I need some street corn, I'll holla. If I want some birria tacos, maybe I'll hit you up. But other than that, stick to the rivers and the streams that you're used to. Don't go chasing waterfalls. It's not a good look for you. It's not a good look at all. But Tyrone, real quick, I'm gonna place you on mute again. We have so many people backstage. Let me bring up another one. Hold on. Let me bring up another one. Who we got? We're gonna bring up Don next. Then we're gonna bring up Chocolate Italian. Then we're gonna bring up Elohim. Then we're gonna bring up Tony Terry. Then we're gonna bring up Patterson. So many people backstage. Don, where are you calling in from and what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on? No, it's funny because I am actually one of your genealogy clients or whatever, but it's funny that they try to tell us, they come here try to tell us who we are. It's just, I find it funny when we can trace our lineage so far back. Like, how do we not know who we are? How we have an identity?
What's so
we
funny?
got documentation backing up what we saying.
What's so funny is I literally just showed and named my indigenous ancestor and proved his indigeneity, but that Mexican mutt migrant couldn't name his indigenous ancestor, right?
No, they just be talking for feeling and just reiterating what they learned about what basically what the government lied about. So at first I used to get offended, but now I just laugh because I'm like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't change their mind. If you want to live in denial, I told you who you is. It's my identity. It's not a debate. If you don't accept that, that's an argument you got to have it yourself. Because I'm okay. I'm living in the truth. So.
And the sad thing is, I ain't up here trying to change no naysayer's mind. I'm just hoping they call in and cite a source. Mexican mutt migrant couldn't cite a single source to support his claim that I'm African, that you're African, that we're African. He wouldn't even tell you about the Major La Raza and the Blancurmento and the Mestizo myth. I had to teach y'all about his country because he's so ashamed.
Which is crazy. I don't know. Like every group come here act like they community is so perfect, and they talk about us like we know we got flaws. We not ashamed of that. We know we got stuff we got to work in the community. What makes us mad is that everybody else act like their community is just so perfect that it's just crime free and everybody. And I'm like, have you looked at the country, the place you come from? How could you just come over here and talk and say anything?
Maybe he
You
should be
came here
worried
for a reason.
about
We didn't leave.
exactly.
We didn't leave our place. Y'all came here.
Exactly. Maybe he should be worried about the issues in Mexico that caused his parents to flee in the first place instead of worried about the genealogy of a stranger. It's a strange behavior. This speaks to the identity crisis. Why would a Latino ever call in trying to dictate genealogy to me unless somehow my identity affects their identity? And how would how would us getting in touch with our indigenous roots affect their identity? Because they have something called the mestizo myth, which is a psyops they've been running since the 1900s. And the more and more Black Americans get in touch with their indigenous roots, the more the Americas as a whole get in touch with their indigenous roots. And the indigenous people of Mexico, they didn't look like him. They didn't even look like me. They were darker. Hey, I'm fair skinned compared to the indigenous tribes of Mexico. But if we saw a photo of old boy, I bet you he'd be indistinguishable from a white boy up here claiming he's half indigenous, half European. But hey, brother, there's so many people backstage. Go ahead, unmute yourself. Let us know what's on your mind. Give us some closing remarks, and then I got to bring a few more people up.
Yeah, I just feel like we telling the truth because if we call ourselves a thug, we call ourselves a gangster, we call ourselves a killer, nobody bats an eye. But now we saying we indigenous and we Indian, everybody want to come fight us. Like for what? If when we were saying that, nobody had nothing to say. So I just find that funny.
Because because this is the truth. You're right. You're on something. You're definitely onto something. When Black Americans claim to be Moorish sovereign citizens, no one batted an eye. When Black Americans claim to be Hebrew Israelites, no one batted an eye. When Black Americans claim to be 5%ers, nobody batted an eye. When Black Americans claim to be Muslim and shit, nobody bats an eye. But as soon as we get in touch with our indigenous roots, the Mexicans want to call in trying to convince us we're African. The Europeans want to call in trying to convince us we're African. The Africans want to call in and try to convince us we're African. Come on. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But you know, I was just letting you know, I am one of your genealogy customers, and I did send you an email. I did send the payment in, so I don't know. I know you're busy, so
no, brother. Hey, if you made your next payment and you sent me an email, just please be patient. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. No lie, I literally have 130 unread emails right now, so I'm trying to catch up.
Okay, no, I'm patient. I was just reading weird, but I'm finna get off and let other people come on. I like hearing other people talk and hearing from our people as well, because I learn something new from our people every time from listening to their story. So I'm gonna let somebody else come up now.
Hey, well, before you go, I see some trolls in the chat saying I'm scamming. You consulted with me. You're a paid client. Let them know. Do you feel like I scammed you?
No, like because of him, I found out my grandma was Creek and my grandfather was Chickasaw. Like, I found out stuff I didn't even know because of him. I wouldn't be sitting here saying I made another payment if I feel like I've been scammed. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy work on another level, I guess.
Hey, everybody's obsessed with what we got going on. Well, thanks for calling in, brother, and I'm gonna get back to you as soon as I can. All right, peace. Let me see. And he's talking about making payments because I'm so nice. I allow y'all to make payment plans and shit. Ancestry.com want to charge you $4,000 cash just for a family tree. Meanwhile, I'm going to hook you up for the low and let you do a low payment plan. Let's talk about it. I got clients that are seniors on Social Security. I got clients that are college kids living off top ramen. I got clients that are single parents. I mean, Hey, money's tight. Money's tight. We're going to bring up Chocolate Italian, and we're going to bring up Tony Terry. Chocolate Italian, where are you calling in from and what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, bro? What's up, cousin? What's going on, cousin? I'm from Baltimore, right? Man, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna try to get it. I'm gonna try to keep it real. I'm gonna try to keep it real short and sweet. So, a lot of these so-called Native Americans that's on these reservations right now, right? They are in when we began to figure out what's going on, it's putting them in jeopardy. They are in jeopardy of losing everything that they've been fucking stealing. Listen, brother, I'm so passionate about this, right? My great grandmother years ago told us who we was, but we wasn't listening. I'm Choctaw. Blood O, got the blood, my blood is O type. Man, this is a beautiful thing because we were running around not knowing who we were. We didn't have a sense of, man, it's just crazy. But what the main point is, they are committing fraud. That's what they're doing right now. Now, there's a video of Donald Trump when he's younger, and he clearly states that these people who are on these reservations are not who they are claiming to be. That's coming from the fucking president. That's coming from the fucking president who's letting y'all know. Y'all listen, I would advise, if y'all are listening, if y'all are listening in this live right now, you fake ass pretendians, I would advise y'all to pack your shit and leave, because now the real G's, we have figured out, we figured it out. It's scaring them. That is frightening them, that now the real warriors who have been, man, like I said, I'm so passionate about this because I've been to prison, I've been to the feds, you know what I'm saying? Like selling drugs and doing all this goofiness that was placed upon me and my people because they never wanted us to figure out who we were, where we come from, because they have been raping us silly. And they still doing it to this day. They have been all those checks that they have been getting every month. Those are our checks. Those reservations, those are our reservations, and we coming for them. I'm telling you, man, I got a couple more months
Hold on.
before I get everything straight.
Time out. You may be coming for the reservation. I ain't trying to live on no damn reservation. I ain't trying to live in no trailer park. Crack that reservation like them.
I don't want to live there. That's the thing, though. But you have to. We gonna slide. We gonna run down on them.
No, I feel it. Wait, time out. I got a lot of people backstage. Just go ahead and provide us with some closing remarks, and I got a segue to the next one. I totally understand.
I just want to let them know. Let them know.
Yep.
That what they have had, they're about to lose it. So I would advise them to just. They're gonna always fight us go back and forth because, like I said, this is putting them in jeopardy. They've been stealing, and the jig is up. That's all. The jig is up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, time out. Before you get out of here, watch this too. Watch this. Since I always like to call us pretendians, all you got to do is go to Google. Oops, hold on. All we got to do is go to Google. Go to Google search engine. Type in pretendian. Go to Google search images. See what pops up. Not a single black person. We got white people. We got Asian people. We got more white people. We don't have a single black person, but they want to try to put the pretendian label on us when historically pretendians have been you Italians, you Asians, you Europeans cosplaying as indigenous. Not a single black person up here. Not a single black
Loud
face.
And clear, Brody.
Not a single black
Loud
face.
And clear, Brody.
But we pretendians?
Loud and clear, Brody.
Okay. All right.
Loud and clear, Brody. Yeah, but I tip my hat to you, brother. We know what's going on.
Hey. I'll talk to you later, brother. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, brother was very passionate indeed. Who's next, y'all? Who's next? Who's next? Tony Terry, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind. And then we're going to go to Chief Spirit over on YouTube. Tony Terry, your Wi-Fi's not Wi-Fi. There you go. Tony, where are you calling in from?
Hey, I'm calling in from North Carolina.
All right. And what's on your mind?
I was calling in first and foremost to say I feel as if people really forget about the Pangea map. I feel as if people forget that it all was one landmass, that, scientifically we know that the birthplace of civilization is Africa. When we had that one landmass, people...
Time out. Can you cite a source to support your claim that the birth of civilization is Africa? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Well, I will have to go back and I will have to look. I'm just talking about scientifically, the oldest that they've found thus far has been Africa, from my understanding.
Ma'am, your understanding is limited. Most of the Americas has not been excavated, and most of Africa has also not been excavated. Africa being a cradle of civilization is not a fact. It's a theory promoted by anthropologists. It is an anthropological consensus. You know what that means? It means the same people who use eugenics and Darwinism to claim that there was God-favored races and we deserve to be enslaved and we come from monkeys. Those same people now agree amongst themselves that Africa is the cradle of civilization. And if they really felt that way, and if it wasn't a psyops, then why don't we see Europeans calling themselves African Europeans? Why don't we see the Chinaman calling themselves an African Chinese person? The only person they want to try to... Don't interrupt me. I'm speaking, man, respectfully. The only people that they want to force feed an African identity on is us. If Africa is the cradle of civilization and everybody comes from Africa, guess what? I'll get on board as soon as white people start identifying as African. As soon as Asians and everybody else starts identifying, they want to use that to get us on board with this African bullshit. But go ahead, unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Okay. No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I was saying that to get to this point. So when it came to the Americas, people were already here. Whether they came from Africa or wherever they came from, people were already...
Don't muddy the water. Don't cut the dope. There were people indigenous to this landmass, period. What you're doing is the same thing Pan-Africans do. First, the Pan-Africans said, Black Indians don't exist. All Black people in America come from West African slaves. Then we showed them the unrefutable evidence. So then they changed their tune. Now they're saying, okay, Black indigenous people exist, but really they came from Africa like a bajillion years ago because Mansa Musa's cousin sailed over here one day. That's pseudo. It's not backed by history. So again, I know that you're trying to get somewhere else with this, but when you say claims like there was indigenous people here, whether they came from Africa, stop. That's not indigenous. That means they're a migrant. Just like there's Native Americans on the reservation, the Navajo, the Comanche, the Apache, claiming to be indigenous to America when they migrated across the Bering Strait. You can't be indigenous to this place if you traveled from somewhere else to get here. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
So when I was speaking on indigenous, I was meaning in the sense that when we come from the Pangea map, when it was all one landmass, so people had already migrated to those areas before the landmasses broke apart. So yeah, that's what I mean by indigenous. I didn't mean, traveling across water, whatever the case may be. The people were already there, indigenous to this land. They were brown, they were Black. Yes, these are facts. We already know these things. So what they did with the transatlantic slave trade, I feel as if they brought Africans here to mix
Where
in
is here?
with people, America or North America, the continent of America, because they had slaves.
No. Let's be specific. First, you said here. America, the continent of America. Are you just talking about Africans being trafficked to the Americas in general, or are you talking about North America, where we're at?
Well, actually, I'm talking about North America right now.
Okay. And what's your understanding of how many Africans were trafficked to North America during the transatlantic slave trade?
Now, with that, I'm not necessarily sure, but
Ma'am, respectfully, you should get your facts together before you call in. We talking about Pangea, you talking about African shipped to North America, and you don't know the numbers? You don't know the ranges? Check this out. This is why I got to pause you. Barely any Africans were shipped to North America. Less than 4% of all Africans trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade went to North America. But you up here trying to link us to Africa because of Pangea. You up here talking about African slaves shipped to North America. Ma'am, less than 4% of those slaves came here. They estimate the number is between 90,000 and 388,000. And it is logistically impossible to have 388,000 people balloon to a population of over 45 million. It doesn't matter if it's been 300 years, 600 years, 900 years. That's logistically impossible, especially when these slaves would have had a high mortality rate and a low birth rate. So I understand why you're confused, because you don't have the knowledge on these statistics. But now that you know that barely any African slaves were shipped to North America, that the vast majority of them went to Brazil, go ahead. Let us know what you think. Unmute yourself.
I wasn't trying to disagree. I'm actually agreeing with you. I was saying that they brought the Africans here to try to further disenfranchise the people that were already here, because they was trying to group us in with them because of our skin tone. I wasn't trying to argue. I actually agree.
Ma'am, you're not arguing. I'm just correcting you and providing you historical context because you didn't know the statistics. You were talking about Pangea and stuff. And even when you theorize that African slaves were shipped to North America to confuse the population, I understand that that's a theory of yours, but I focus on fact and not theories. They did not ship Africans to North America to confuse populations and da-da-da-da. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't need to racially reclassify us for centuries. They wouldn't need to burn the archives. They wouldn't need to relabel us from Indian to Negro, mulatto, colored, freedmen. If all it took was African slaves being shipped over here to confuse the people and stuff, they wouldn't have done paper genocide. So again, I understand your theory and whatnot, and we're not debating here. I'm just filling you with historical context, because right now, all you got is theories and feelings. But go ahead, unmute yourself.
No, it's cool. You got it.
I appreciate it. Yep.
No, I mean,
I appreciate it, sister. I appreciate it. Real quick, guys. I don't know what just happened. Oh shit, I might have clicked the wrong button. Hey, sister, my bad. I think you got kicked on accident. Go ahead and click the button and call back in. If you wanted to finish out your thought, I apologize for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to educate you with some historical context, because you know we muddy in the waters. Pangea, and y'all going 300 million years in the past to Pangea? Come on. Tyrone, unmute yourself. What do you think about this?
That's crazy. Because he's talking about a time period where humans weren't alive. What she should focus in on is when you're already here and what's already verifiable in your paperwork. Like, we can't find no West Central African like that within genealogy, because for one, Europeans weren't properly marking down what ethnicity their Negroes were. And Negroes historically could mean anything, not just binary African. And this is written by a Native American scholar and author in his own book, Jack D. Forbes. He literally breaks down the usage of these modern colonial terms. Actually, you can't use modern definitions.
And real quick. And then the crazy part is, she was kind of onto something. They did bring Africans to North America to confuse the population. They didn't do that during the transatlantic slave trade. They did that in the 80s and the 90s. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. More Africans migrated to the United States of America in the 80s and the 90s than the entirety of all Africans trafficked all across the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade. They theorized that 12.5 million Africans were trafficked to the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade. More than 12 million Africans came to the United States of America just between the 1980s, 1990s. That's when they brought Africans over to confuse us. And they're also doing it right now in the 2020s, bringing all these African migrants over. Y'all got a bunch of Africans at the workplace and shit. Minnesota's filled with that. Portland, Oregon, filled with Africans. They're doing that modern day. They weren't doing that during the transatlantic slave trade. What they were doing was hostaging and converting indigenous people. What they were doing was enslaving us in place. They don't have to bring an African slave over here to muddy up the waters. They take an indigenous person, make him a slave for generations, and then miseducate their children to make them believe they came from Africa. And then they do the Roots movies and The Color Purple, etc., etc., etc. So she's onto something. They did bring Africans over to try to muddy the waters, but that's in more recent years, not during the era of the transatlantic slave trade. Shout out to Trade Trucking. She said Houston's full of them too. Facts. Real quick, we're going to bring up Chief Spirit. Chief, where are you calling in from and what's on your mind?
I'm calling from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is what I have a problem. I met a lot of man of law chief. I'm a principal chief of Cherokee and Choctaw. And I do speak the language a little bit. What I have a problem with our people identify who we are. Soon I speak the language, they will automatically say, okay, you speak the language, but you speak English too. You feel what I'm coming from? If I speak that language of my indigenous tongue, that's where I'm from. But not what I'm from, a European. Now, we got that part. But what I'm trying to address to people is that Pico language is called Creole. What they did with our language tongue to English. You follow where I'm coming from?
Yeah, we've been colonized for 500 plus years by Europeans, but we speak English. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I say, oh, Denise, they probably look at me, oh, he speaks the language. But it's not common for our people to look like Melody to speak to them. But when they see them Chinese looking and stuff, they speak the language, oh, no, you are the original people. See how that works? But when we speak it, it's like, it's not normal to them. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I see it, when I speak the language, I speak in my soul. When I'm from here, this landmass. And I teach people this. We are the original melanin, artificial intelligence life form on this count. Nowhere else. Non-debatable.
What did you just say, y'all? I was trying to follow along with him. Did he say that we're the original melanated artificial intelligent life form? I know he didn't say that. Tell me, it's been a long day. It's been a long. I'm tripping. Tyrone, did you just hear the same thing, or I'm confused? Tyrone, unmute yourself.
No, I couldn't even hear. I couldn't hear anything because it's YouTube. Remember, TikTokers can't hear. YouTube
oh yeah, no, TikTok in the audience can hear the YouTube, but the people in the panel can't. Okay, my bad, Tyrone. Well, audience members, help me out. Trey said he didn't say that. Blue says he did say that. Momo says he did say that. Sir, did you just say that we're the original melanated artificial intelligence people? Go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on mute, sir. You have to unmute yourself. On StreamYard, I can't unmute you. You have to do it yourself. Did you just use the term artificial intelligence?
Yeah, because it's scientific. It's been proven. I got friends in scientific field. They do this work.
Hold on. Are you saying that artificial intelligence supports our claims of indigeneity, or are you claiming that we are artificial intelligent beings? Go ahead. Unmute yourself. I'm just a little confused. Are you saying we are artificial intelligence, or that artificial intelligence says we're indigenous? All right, he just put himself back on mute. I don't know what's going on.
Being on this continent.
Okay, he's muting and unmuting himself now. I don't know what's going on. I think he might be a troll or something. I mean, I don't think anybody should even be speaking with that kind of broken English unless, like, they're a plantation slave of the 1800s, low-key, high-key. You know, call me an asshole, but he was giving me yes, a bossa vibes. Like, I mean, just sir, it's 2025. I don't understand why we weren't really able to make out what you're saying. Like, you really were. I'm confused. I mean, maybe he was born in the bayou or something. I mean, I'm trying to be respectful to the elder, but I want to hope that he's a troll and he doesn't really communicate that effectively, because that's just not it, sir. That's just not it. Let me see. Okay. Dar Promoter said he was original American culture from Mexico. Yeah, he was saying a lot. I don't know what he said. Sir, I am not an AI. I'm flesh and blood. Okay, I'm flesh and blood. Let me see. We don't have any callers backstage in TikTok right now. We got some over on the YouTube side of things. ADL, let us know where you calling in from. What's on your mind? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
What's going on, bro, brothers? ADL, man, from West Oakland.
What's up? What's up? Lay it on us. What do you think about that last caller?
Hey, man, you already know we call those J-Cats. You already know that.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, he sounded like in the 80s he was on the pipe and now he's missing some teeth or something. Like, I'm trying to be respectful. I was just confused.
Respectfully, he sound like a knock, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have been through some things, and you know, it is what it is. After a certain many rounds around the block, we get hit in the head a few times. We hit the wrong pipe. I mean, I don't know what was going on with that. That's all I can say.
They mixing the dope. I don't know. They mixing the dope. They got fentanyl in it, y'all. They got fentanyl.
You told me to stay off them reservations. I think he's been on the reservations a little bit too long.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a Choctaw, Mexican, artificial intelligence, indigenous American. I can't track. I can't track. Y'all saw me. I was holding my tongue for so long. I was trying to hold my tongue and just let him rock out and see where he was going. And as soon as he said we are artificial intelligent beings, I said, okay, no, come on.
Yeah, man. I'm like you. I'll be dealing with 5 hours of sleep, and you need to get straight to the point when you call, y'all.
Yeah. It's not that I'm trying to be rude with y'all, but yeah, I'm working on about 4 hours of sleep. So yeah. Come correct. Please come correct.
I promise you. Hey, I flew back to the Bay, and then I came back to Colorado where I'm at right now, and I lost my phone. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because I booked a consultation with you for 12:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you want to do it. You want to do it on another platform, Zoom or something like that. Can you look at my email and email me something that I could do a video call or whatever? Because I'm waiting for
So typically when you book the consultation, it sends you an email confirmation that has a meeting link. Did you not receive that?
I got about, I'm just like you. I get 300 emails a day. So now that I know that you emailed me, I can look it up under, what would be your address?
Mike at nativeblack.ancestry.com.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, if you lost your phone, I would just say it doesn't really affect our consultation that much, since most people join the virtual meeting from their computer anyways. But if you do need to reschedule, just shoot me an email and we can push you out a little bit.
All right, cool. And a quick comment. I heard you you said you got lanes in your in one of your surnames.
I am a Lane, yes.
Oh, you are a Lane.
Yep.
Okay. I got Lanes is my paternal on my paternal side. That's my great grandmother. That's my great grandmother, Addie Lane.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
That's what's up. So they're coming out of Louisiana. Is your Lanes coming out of Texas, Louisiana?
No, they're coming out of Oklahoma. Before Trail of Tears, they were out in Alabama, Georgia, Florida.
Okay, that's what's up. And so yeah, I was checking out the German guy. You know what I'm saying? They had the 30 lashes or whatever that you were talking about.
Oh yeah, you're talking about my German ancestor, Franz Hootman.
Yeah. That picture looked familiar. I've been playing around my Ancestry.com. I think that motherfucker up on mine too.
Maybe. Who knows? It's a small world.
It's a hell of a small world, and that's just more confirmation on how important genealogy is, because it's like if you belong to a certain tribe, you have a certain ancestry also, and you'll see the patterns of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, brother, provide us with some closing remarks. It sounds like you driving, and then we can go ahead and segue to the next caller. But yeah, if you need to push back tomorrow's consultation, or if you didn't get that email with the meeting link, then just shoot me an email, mike@nativeblackancestry.com, and we'll make sure to get you taken care of.
Hey, man, look here, keep doing your thing, and enjoy that nail in the coffin that me and you talked about as far as Planned Parenthood.
Oh yeah. That was I did a broadcast day before yesterday, and I was talking about that. Yeah, I was talking about that. I appreciate that, Jim.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace and blessings.
All right, peace. All right, guys, we got Chief Spirit back. Before we go back to Chief Spirit, I think we have somebody backstage on TikTok. We had an Elohim something. Elohim left. Mr. Elohim, you've joined backstage and left a couple different times now. I don't know why. I bring people up in order of importance. When you leave and come back, you lose your space in line. Come on, y'all. Have some patience. We got so many people trying to call in. If you got to hang out backstage for 5 or 10 minutes, then it is what it's going to be. But when you leave and come back, you don't do nothing but lose your space in line. But you know what? He just rejoined. I'll give him some grace, okay? He just rejoined. Let's see what he has for us, he or she. Elohim, when I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
From Chicago, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
Peace, power, protection. Nothing. It's my first time seeing your show. I'm very glad to have joined because I do similar things on mine and with my following. But yeah, it's strange to me when all of the people who helping reclassify us and rename us and throw us into this African pyramid scheme they got going on, that they don't themselves have any proof to prove that other than the white tea history of it, the watered down, rewritten history of it. But also, when the other dude who had the speech impediment, who was up here a couple of minutes ago, he was talking about Choctaw. I'm Choctaw, and he was talking about the Creoles in Louisiana. And I wanted to, also add that because I brought up this woman because I know a lot of people know about what's his name, Walter Placker, but they also need to know about Naomi Drake. Naomi Drake ran the Vital Statistics Bureau in Louisiana around 1930 through 1960. And she also helped incorporate the one-drop rule. The one-drop rule, of course.
Damn, I just Googled her. It says exactly what you're talking about. It says Naomi Ruth was an American who became notable in the mid-20th century in Louisiana as the registrar of the Bureau of Vital Statistics for the city of New Orleans, where she imposed strict racial classifications on people under a binary system that recognized only white and black. She unilaterally changed records to classify mixed race individuals as black if she found that they had any black ancestry or they phenotypically looked black. She had an application with hypodescendant rules, and she did not notify people of her actions. Oh, interesting. So yeah, it's not just Walter Placker. Go ahead, brother. Keep cooking.
Yeah, so it's this problem. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and like I do exactly what you do. And I love brothers that's smart and intelligent like you. And how you do the same thing with the receipt drop in to get them the cite our sources type thing. And I'm glad you looked it up. But I think they have a problem with not looking up or doing the research themselves. I think mostly I got off for a minute because, people just like to argue so much. I think that's the entertainment part of it. But I tell them I'm here for business, not pleasure. You know what I'm saying? When you were talking about the out of Africa and the young lady earlier was not understanding what you were saying, she was still like trying to put us into that across the waters in a boat theory that was going on. And if she looked before all of that, you had them shipping the Black Indians to the sugar plantations, the West Indies, Paris, France,
Europe.
Europe, Africa, and they dropped us off there and they picked us up where they left us at. So then, like you said, they in the 80s and the 90s, and today they still bringing Africans here, and just to add on to what they written off in the past, you know what I'm saying, to make it like catch up and fit the narrative of it. But yeah, I'm in for it. I love what you do, and I follow and subscribe. And it's Team Supreme, but I'm definitely looking for more brothers like you, gods. That I say, guys, we have goddesses. That's just something I use. But I hope I ain't going too fast for anybody. But I want y'all to look into Naomi Drake. Naomi Drake, like the brother said, she did the same thing that Walter Plecker did. The same thing. And today I just showed Thomas Jefferson, because he's the foundation of all of it.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm gonna drop a quick gem and show you how prevalent it was. It wasn't just Naomi, it wasn't just Walter, but check this out. I actually spent hours and hundreds of dollars through old newspaper archives to find this. Check this out. The first thing I'll show you is the title of the newspaper clipping. Hold on, let me pull up the archive here. I got a whole terabyte hard drive with nothing but receipts. Here we go. When is an Indian not an Indian? Have you ever heard of that newspaper article? Oh, I think I lost him. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'll be mute when people talk so I can hear what y'all saying. Yeah, I want to see it.
No, have you heard of it?
Oh no, I haven't. I mean, I probably have. There's so much stuff in our head.
This is the article. This is the article. I'm not surprised if you haven't heard of it. Most people don't discuss this. I literally had to spend hours and hundreds of dollars to find this article from Providence Journal, 1970. Here's a image of it. When is an Indian not an Indian? It's when he's a Negro. And in this newspaper article, we get a very candid confession from a census taker. Check this out. This census taker right here says, who is an Indian? When the United States government counts heads, it says we are whatever we say we are. A census taker now working in South Kingstown in preparation for the 1970 census said recently, quote, if they tell me they are Indian and they look Negro, I put down what they say and I change it later. Aren't Indians supposed to have high cheekbones?
No, I haven't seen that one before. That's new, but I did screenshot that. Thank you for that, Jim.
Hey, census takers admitting that even though an Indian person says they're Indian, he'll write down Indian and then later change it because he doesn't think their cheekbones are high enough. Oh, okay. All right. So again, we can cite so much evidence of the racial reclassification of our indigenous ancestors, and these Latinos can't cite any evidence to support their indigeneity. These Africans can't cite any evidence to support that we come from their country. Let's talk about it.
And I seen you had a picture of the last pair blood Indian too. Chief Cisco up. I did a YouTube channel on him as well. But he's not the last pure blood Indian. He's got descendants also. Yeah, a lot of these pictures I put them through my what do I call that? It's a hold on. It's I got it. It's a engine that can look up artifacts and stuff like that and tell you where they come from. Even the photographs and the pictures, it'll run it. But yeah, I did not know about that article you had. That's very interesting. It goes along with the one drop rule with Walter Plecker and Naomi Drake, because that's what they were using. And it wasn't nothing with DNA. I don't know why people still stuck on DNA. It's not DNA, it's genealogy you need to do. Even the Bible tell you they use genealogy. They do not use DNA. They go off the mother to know the child and so on and so on. Like, it's pitiful, but like, it's just pitiful, man. You're doing great. You're doing God's work, man. For real.
Hey, I appreciate you, God. There needs to be more of us out here, but we'll at least toe the line.
Yes. I'm gonna sit in and watch some more. I love the show. and support it. Yeah, everybody here tapping and clapping for sure for him.
All right. Well, till next time. Thanks for calling in. And guys, while we wait for the next live caller, I think I should bring up a little replay from earlier. Oh no, should I? Should I? Oh wait, you know what? We got Chief Spirit back. Chief Spirit is back. Chief Spirit, let us know what's on your mind.
Once I said early, I'm slowing down. They have a death for my brother left today, so I'm trying to slow down and stuff. So what the caller, he's from Chicago. I'm from Chicago, but I have family from Mississippi because of with the Choctaw and the Cherokee, and that's my bloodline. I did be doing this for 10 years, and I plan to meet with Dan Calloway, the research guy, and what's his name?
Sir, respectfully, respectfully, don't bring up the name, the research guy on my platform. He is a scammer that has defrauded our community out of thousands of dollars with fake genealogy research. He's the reason why I became a full-time genealogist, because his victims were coming to me seeking guidance because they had just got scammed by him. I exposed him so sufficiently. Time out. If you know that, you wouldn't be bigging up a fucking scammer, dummy. I exposed the research guy so sufficiently that he deleted all indigenous content off of his channel. Go to the research guy's YouTube channel now. He ain't making no indigenous content because I ran his ass up out of the space because he was scamming our community. If you look up the research guy, he moved to a new grift, a political grift. Now he's doing some alt-right, Donald Trump dick riding shit. He don't post nothing about no indigenous, nothing. Why? Because I exposed him. If anybody heard about the research guy back when he was doing his indigenous shit, and you're wondering what I'm talking about with the scam, all you got to do is go to my channel, Mike TV, click the search, type in research guy, and I've done several exposés where his scam victims literally called in and said, yeah, Mike, he got me for $300. Yeah, Mike, he got me for $400. Yeah, Mike, he got me for $500. Never gave me no genealogy research. Or he gave me a fake family tree and typed in that this person's Choctaw, this person's Cherokee. Don't big up no fucking scammer on my platform. We ain't even gonna bring you back. I mean, honestly, the first time you were up here, the way that you were speaking just showed us that you were, and unless you have a disability, respectfully, unless you have some disability, you was in Vietnam, you got half your mouth blown off, you sound like a low IQ ass nigga up here. And I had to get at you like that because you just try to big up a fucking scammer. And when I said he's a scammer, don't mention him, you said, I know that. If you know he's a scammer, why are you bigging him up on my show, dummy? Don't do that. You just got dealt with. So let's do what I was going to do in the first place, which is bring you guys a nice little recap of a very asinine conversation I had with a Pan Goofy not too long ago while we wait to see if we have any more live callers. And it's funny how y'all want to try to like use my platform because I'm so trending, right? Y'all want to use my platform to try to call in and shout out other content creators to drive traffic to them. If Dane Calloway was doing the work, people would still be tuning into him. Several years ago, he was doing the work. Now he's on some weird political psyops. Nat Turner never existed. Harriet Tubman is a figment of your imagination, dumb shit. Tops Cats, nothing wrong with legendary Top Cats. He's for a certain demographic, you know. He's for members of our community that watch the Zeus Network and Bad Girls Club and BET at night and shit, you know. He's preaching the indigenous shit, that's cool, but he's just a certain flavor, a certain demographic, you know. But don't call into my show mentioning other content creators, especially when they're fucking scammers, dummy. Jesus. And yeah, Indigo Moon, I used to like Dan Calloway back in the day before he went full pseudo. You can't get up here claiming that Nat Turner never existed when he has living descendants. When Nat Turner was correct me if I'm wrong, was Nat Turner a Narragansett Indian or was he Nantucket? I forget which one. But Nat Turner literally has living descendants. I know because some of them are my genealogy clients. But Dane Calloway is making videos, clickbait videos, talking about Nat Turner never existed. How does that serve our indigenous movement, making pseudo claims like that? It doesn't. And that's why I got turned off to him. But shout out to Dane Calloway. He was the first person I heard talking about the Ocean's Gyres. But how you start is not how you end. Let's talk about it. I tuned into one of Dane Calloway's live streams a couple weeks ago just for shits and giggles. I'm watching it 30 minutes in. He playing rap music, talking about, I'm dropping a new mixtape, y'all. I got fire bars coming, y'all. He ain't really talking no real shit about no indigenous information no more. It's clickbait. It's pageantry at best. He used to be real good at it, though. I don't know what happened, but I digress. Guys, I wanted to play this strange interaction I had with the Pan Goofy. Check this shit out. Tell me that this ain't gonna make you say, He said, "Hey, they tried." Yeah, YouTube says he it's out of that. From here we go. No, they want to cling to. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm calling in from New York.
All right. And do you descend from African migrants like the last caller?
No, my ancestry go back to Africa by way of Jamaica.
Well, wait a minute. When I ask if you descend from African migrants like the last caller and you say no, but then you say your heritage goes to Africa by way of Jamaica, I mean, so you do descend from African migrants?
Yeah, I descend from Africa.
Oh, and you know what? Time out. It's a really bad echo. I got to fix the echo for my YouTube audience. Start that over again. So you were saying that you're calling from where? And
I'm calling from Jamaica. I'm calling from New York City.
Calling from New York, but your people are recently from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
And before Jamaica, you guys came from Africa.
Yeah.
Do you know what country in Africa?
Yeah, particularly Ghana and Ivory Coast by way of the Ashanti tribe.
Okay. And when you say Ghana and the Ivory Coast by way of the Ashanti tribe, how did you learn about that information?
My DNA results and my culture is based primarily the Akan people. We have loan words that directly come from the Akan people, and we still speak a Cromanti language to this day. The Maroon tribe still speak Cromanti language, and it's mutually intelligible with all Twi languages in Ivory Coast and Ghana.
Oh,
and
okay.
we see the
Real quick. When you cite DNA as a source, that's speculative at best. But when you say that you guys have linguistic patterns associated with those countries in Africa, well, that's a much more solid source. So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and our cultural foods, our national dish, ackee and saltfish. The ackee come from Ghana.
You probably have spiritual systems from Africa too?
Yes.
The dances?
Yes. And our national...
And the funny thing is, Black Americans have none of that.
That is incorrect.
Okay, wait. If that's incorrect, then name the African dish that Black Americans eat to this day.
You have gumbo that directly was in...
Woohoo, shit. Oh, shit. I need a commercial break on that one. Did this motherfucker just say gumbo comes from Africa? This is getting awkward. Yes, share blasphemy. Guys, not too long ago, I made gumbo for the first time as an adult. As a native Black American, I've indulged in gumbo all my life, but it was my first time making it as an adult. Maybe like a month or two ago. Main ingredients of gumbo: rice, sausage. There's different variations. Other than the rice and the sausage, you're also going to do chicken, or you're going to do shrimp, and maybe there's some other variations there. But sir, when I bring you back up, I've got a very simple question for you. Let's just stick with the few most common ingredients of gumbo. Sausage, rice, shrimp, chicken. What ingredient in gumbo comes from Africa, sir? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yeah, for one, gumbo, the word gumbo.
I ain't talking about the word gumbo. I said, what ingredients in the gumbo dish comes from Africa?
Like you said, there's different variations of gumbo.
Name the ingredients that comes from Africa.
I'm naming the ingredients. Rice.
Rice. Rice. He thinks rice is indigenous to Africa. You don't think we have rice here already? You didn't think our ancestors, although they were expert agriculturalists, praising and honoring the three sisters, corn, squash, beans, you don't think we also cultivated rice? You don't know in the Southeast we had horses and marsh fields of rice? You don't know that there's indigenous American wild rice? You thought we didn't have no rice until an African brought it over here? Hold on. Let's see what he has to say. Sir, do you think that Africans introduced rice to the Americas?
Yes, rice is only native to Africa and Asia.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. He says rice is only native to Africa and Asia. I got to do some quick fact checking on that. I think he's bullshitting. I don't think he's actually looked into what he's claiming up here. Let's do some quick fact checking. I know we were talking to our girl ChatGPT earlier. I have a new caller on my live stream who claims that he descends from Africans from the Ivory Coast. He's making the claim that Africans introduced rice to the Americas, and there was no rice in the Americas until Africans brought it over. My claim is there was already wild rice growing in the Americas. What say you, ChatGPT?
Absolutely. I can jump in on that. So historically speaking, both of you have a point, but in different ways. There was indeed a type of rice native to the Americas, commonly known as wild rice. It's not the same species as Asian rice, but it was definitely cultivated and used by indigenous peoples, especially around the Great Lakes and other areas. On the other hand, Africans who were brought to the Americas did introduce varieties of what we think of as domesticated rice, like Oryza glaberrima from West Africa, which did become a staple in places like the Carolinas. So there's truth in both angles. The Americas had their own native rice, and Africans did contribute their rice growing knowledge and different rice strains. So it's really a mix of both histories.
Sir, you were just proven wrong. Your claim was not that the Americas had rice and Africa had rice and Africa brought a strain of rice over. Your claim was rice is only indigenous to Africa and Asia, and you were just proved wrong. Absolutely wrong. Now, I could inquire further with ChatGPT on the rice that was brought by the Africans, but I already know the answer to that. I don't want to give you guys any spoiler alerts. Let's see if our guest knows about this. Sir, when you say that Africans introduced rice over here, I mean, that's not really what you said. You said that they brought rice because we didn't have it at all. That's false. But sir, the rice strain that was brought over here by Africans, are you referring to African slaves?
Yes, and the rice you're talking.
Oh, goddamn. We're going to get somewhere now. I thank you for your patience, Kwame. I thank you for your patience. Guys, this is so crazy. So he wants us to believe that an African slave captured by his fellow African, sold to Europeans, somehow he said, wait a minute, massa, time out. Before you capture me and put me on this boat, let me grab some rice seeds to bring to America. Oh, the Africans had a premonition. They knew that they were about to be captured as slaves, so they said, let me take some seeds of rice and put it in my pockets. Wait, Africans didn't have pants. They didn't have pockets. Where would they have put this rice? Sir, help us out here. Where do you think that these African slaves stored this rice? Where did they store it? Did they use their prison wallet? Did they have rice seeds shoved up their ass? Rice filled their anal cavities because they knew that they were going to America and they would need some rice once they got over here? How did they transport this rice?
You keep cutting me off, and I can't really make my point.
How did they transport the rice, sir?
Yes, they put the rice in their hair and other crops.
In their hair. Okay, thank you. Look at how pseudo this shit is getting tonight, y'all. He wants us to believe that an African slave who's being chased by their fellow African slave trader, he's going to say, wait a minute, Kunta, time out. Let me braid some seeds in my hair real quick. And then not only do they braid seeds in their hair, but those seeds survive the voyage. They survive being in that musty, unwashed scalp. Oh, wait. And then when they get over here, European slave masters allow them to start cultivating rice that they brought from Africa. Guys, this makes no fucking sense. Yeah, guys, this is getting real pseudo. Kwame, when you come back, let us know. How did the rice seeds survive the voyage braided in the hair?
I mean, you can ask ChatGPT since you want to ask ChatGPT everything.
Okay. I'll ask ChatGPT. I'll ask it. You want me to ask it? I'll ask it. Hey, ChatGPT, is it possible for me to take rice seeds and braid them into my hair and then have them sit there and percolate and ruminate in my unwashed hair and my unwashed scalp for a few months? And then after a few months voyage at sea across the Atlantic, then I could plant those seeds and they would still grow crops? Is that possible?
Well, I have to say that's definitely one of the most creative agricultural plans I've heard. Technically, rice seeds can be pretty resilient, but there are a lot of factors here. For one, keeping seeds in unwashed hair for months might lead to all sorts of issues: moisture, mold, and just general seed degradation. By the time you cross the Atlantic, the seeds might not be in the best shape to grow. In reality, seeds usually need to be kept relatively dry and stable if you want them to germinate later. So while it's a fun thought experiment, it's probably not the most reliable way to transport your future rice crop.
You said ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT said you talking about a fun thought experiment, not a fact. Damn, don't nobody do it like me. What do you have to say, sir? I know I've been pausing you. I've been interrupting you. I want to now turn the tide in your favor. Let me go ahead and put on an online timer, and I'm going to set it for 3 minutes. And I'm going to allow you to speak for 3 minutes uninterrupted. Don't worry, if you have a lot of points you're making, if you have a lot of questions of me, I'm going to take notes. I'm going to document all your points, all your statements. And after the timer's up, we will address them. The timer starts once you start speaking. Go ahead.
Yes, you said that you have no African ancestry. Well, you said Black Americans have no African ancestry. The current consensus, DNA experts and cultural experts all say that African Americans descend from Africa. For one, we could look at the culture, with pouring libation, gumbo being a loan word directly from the Congo. Rice cultivation came from Africa. Prior to that, slave owners didn't know how to cultivate rice. And the rice you brought up, which is wild rice, is a pseudo rice. I was specifically talking about the rice that we commonly know is only grown in West Africa and Asia. And we could look at the African burial ground where slaves was buried with African motifs and other African ornaments. So that's a direct connection to Africa. And even free blacks in America, they never claim that they descend from America. They all name their organizations after Africa, i.e. the Free African School, the Free African Organization, the Free African
Time out. Foul on the motherfucking play. I told you guys that I was running a quick replay while we wait for live callers. Well, god damn it, I gotta interrupt the replay. Did this dummy just say that our ancestors only referred to themselves as Africans and they never referred to themselves? Is that what he just said, guys? He said all of our ancestors called themselves Africans and always referred to and their organizations, and they never said that they were American, huh? I guess he doesn't know that I have personally curated a digital archive with over 600 documents, huh? I guess he's unfamiliar with me and my work, and he does not know that I have a digital archive on my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com, with over 600 documents. Let's read a couple of them because clearly he doesn't know how to read, or he just never did this actual research. He just made the claim that our ancestors never referred to themselves as Americans, that they always called themselves Africans. Okay. All right. It's going to get real awkward up in this bitch. Watch this, y'all. Website is nativeblack.ancestry.com. Click on the digital archive link. It's $15 to become a member of the website, get access to all these documents, download them to your computer, share them on social media. But check this out. We're going to do some reading. He said our ancestors called themselves Africans and never referred to themselves as Americans. What? Okay. We're going to bring up two different sources. We're going to bring up first-hand accounts of what our ancestors refer to themselves as. Check it. Where's the first one? Where's the first one? We got so many receipts. So many. Here's the first one. Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, in his own newspaper, writes, January 22nd in 1852, he's writing against the colonization scheme. What is the colonization scheme? The colonization scheme was the scheme in the early 1800s to convince us to voluntarily move to Africa. And this is one of our forefathers, Frederick Douglass, speaking against that. And let's see what he says. There is no sentiment more universally entertained nor more firmly held by the free colored people of the United States than that this is their own native land. He didn't say there's no sentiment more universally entertained nor more firmly held by the free colored people of the United States than that we come from Africa. Words matter. Some pan goofy wants to tell us all of our ancestors identified as African. No, you're lying. Let's read. There is no sentiment more universally entertained nor more firmly held by the free colored people of the United States than that this is their own, their native land, and that here, for good or for evil, their destiny is to be wrought out. Identified with the entire history of the American people, going back more than 200 years, this sentiment is natural and praiseworthy. There is not now, there never has been, and we think there never will be, any general desire on the part of our people to immigrate from this land to any other, and least of all to the wilds of Africa. But that caller said that our ancestors identified as African, huh? There is not now, there never has been, and we think there never will be any general desire on the part of our people to immigrate from this land to any other, and least of all to the wilds of Africa. Oh, shit. You see why they call me the king of receipts. Let's bring up another source. Let's bring up another one. DJ Kelly, another one. Now we're going to get into the early 1900s. This is a black doctor, Dr. J.R. Hawkins, Kansas City, Missouri. He says, disenfranchise the Negro and send him back to Africa? Absurd. Impossible. More than $1 billion worth of United States real estate, which he owns in his own name in the United States, is not easily to be taken from him. Besides, the Negro is not an African. He is an American. African is a misnomer. Why try to send him to a country which is not his own? But that caller said that our ancestors identified as African and didn't identify as American. But he literally says right here in this article, the Negro is not an African. The caller says all of our ancestors identified as African, but here we got our ancestors saying the Negro is not an African. African is a misnomer. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see what else he has for us, guys. This is getting so interesting. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
It was buried with African motifs and other African ornaments. So that's a direct connection to Africa. And even free blacks in America, they never claim that they descend from America. They all name their organizations after Africa, i.e. the Free African School, the Free African Organization, the Free African I forgot the other organization down in North Carolina. So there's a bunch of evidence to prove that black people in the Americas all descend from Africa. If you want to look at Ifa, hoodoo, and a bunch of other things that all descend from Africa. I think the onus is on you to try to prove that you're American through genetic studies, culture, linguistic evidence, and stuff like that. So when you say that the Black Americans in America do not descend from African slaves, that is a pseudo ahistorical and not supported by no experts in the field. Every expert in the field all points that all black people in America descend from Africans, particularly West and Central African. So you could cut my time short.
Okay, perfect. I can cut his time short. Let me go ahead and restate all of his points. I'll address them one by one, and then we'll bring him right back up. This is how you have civil discourse, ain't it? His first point, he said something about, I made the claim that all Black Americans have no African ancestry. Sir, I did not make that blanket statement. I was referring to me and my family. Do I think that there's some Black Americans that have African heritage? Absolutely. So many of you African migrants are fleeing to our homeland. Your folks are from the Ivory Coast by way of Jamaica. You live in New York, I think you said. Guess what? You're referred to as a Black American just like the rest of us. And you have African ancestry. But just because you do does not mean we do. Next thing you said was cultural experts say we come from Africa. It's funny how he didn't name one, guys. It's funny how he said there's so many cultural experts, but he didn't name a single one. So when he comes back up, maybe he can name a cultural expert that says every single Black American descends from an African. He then tried to say that gumbo and libations are African and slave masters didn't know how to cultivate rice. And so, what are you talking about? And then speaking of the rice, he called our indigenous wild rice a pseudo rice. Motherfucker, that's a pseudo statement. What the fuck is a pseudo rice? What is a pseudo rice? That is a nonsensical statement. You just making up words now. There was no such thing as a pseudo rice. Maybe if the rice is laced with GMOs, we can call it a pseudo rice, but there's no such thing as a pseudo plant, a pseudo crop. Hey, look at the plant behind me. I got some vines growing. I guess if that was fake and it was plastic, you can say that's a pseudo plant. But other than that, what the fuck are you up here talking about, Jamaican migrant boy? He then said that plantation slaves in America have African burial grounds with African motifs and African ornaments. Notice how he didn't cite a single African motif. I can easily, with ease, willy-nilly, show a Black indigenous motif right here, found all from the Great Lakes down to the Yucatan Peninsula. This is a motif. Can you share your screen and show me what African motif American plantation slaves had on their burial sites? That's a pseudo claim, since you love the word pseudo so much. He then tried to say because there were institutions with the word African in it, that's proof that we all come from Africa. That's not how it works, Playboy. Just because some Boule members descended from hostage and converted indigenous bloodlines are working on behalf of our oppressor to name our churches and our institutions things such as the African Methodist Episcopal Church, that doesn't mean we come from Africa. That's called the PSYOPs. That's called propaganda. And you fell for the okie doke. So go ahead, Jamaican from the Ivory Coast, living in New York. Let's start with the wild rice is a pseudo rice. Sir, can you tell us what is the definition of a pseudo rice?
Yes. Yes, wild rice is a pseudo grain because it is a seed of aquatic grass. It is not true rice, which comes from Orzina genius.
Okay, hold on. I really don't trust anything you have to say because you've been bullshitting so much up here. And like you said earlier, I like to ask ChatGPT. So let me ask my AI robot girl real quick. Hello. I have a guest that's making the claim that indigenous American wild rice is a pseudo rice. Is that true or false?
Hello. That claim is actually false. Indigenous American wild rice is indeed a real native grain that has been growing in North America for thousands of years. It's not a pseudoscientific concept. Wild rice, or Zizamia aquatica and related species, is an aquatic grass native to the Great Lakes region and other parts of North America. It was traditionally harvested by many indigenous peoples long before European contact. So anyone saying that wild rice is pseudoscience is definitely off the mark.
Damn. My AI robot girl said you off the mark, Playboy. Furthermore, maybe it's that they just can't understand the genius of our ancestors. Maybe they just can't understand the genius of our ancestors where they can literally take a grass and turn it into a crop. Damn. That's damn near some sorcery, right? And we've done it on more than one occasion. Not only did wild rice come from a grass that we then cultivated into a rice, but that's the same way we get corn or maize. It started out as a grass and we started splicing it and messing with it, and our ancestors was doing different manipulations and shit. I forget the exact scientific word, but over decades, centuries, we take it from a grass to a rice, from a grass to corn on the cob. And I guess you're just infatuated by how our ancestors are able to work such magic like that. And instead of inquiring, yo, dumbass gonna come up here and claim it's pseudo when nobody supports that claim of yours. Come on. Next question I've got for you, sir. You said that there's so many cultural experts that say that every single Black American comes from Africa. Can you name one of them? Can you name one cultural expert that makes that claim?
Yeah, that's a current consensus. Unless you got something.
Name an expert that made that claim. When you come back up, you should be saying the name of a person, not random statements. What's the name of the person?
And you misinterpret.
I misinterpret. What's the name of the person? You said there's so many of them. You said there's so many cultural experts, and they all say that we come from Africa, but you can't name a single one? Do we need to give you 30 seconds to phone a friend or some shit? Can you name a single one? Jesus, he just fled the backstage, y'all. Thank God. Mans is up here on some pseudo shit. First, he said gumbo is from Africa. Then he said Africans brought seeds in their braids. ChatGPT says that's not possible. He then says our wild indigenous rice is a pseudo rice. That's a false claim. He then says there's so many cultural experts that say we all come from Africa. He can't name a single one. He says that our ancestors were buried with African motifs, African ornaments. He can't show a single African ornament, a single African motif, but I can show our indigenous one from one of the many copper plates that our ancestors inscribed all throughout the Americas. Hey, big bank, take little bank. Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it. Don't nobody do it like Mike. Correct me if I'm wrong. but don't nobody do it like Mike. Guys, we're going to wrap up this broadcast unless we have some more folks that want to call in. Let's see. The night is young after all. I don't care if you want to debate me on the origins of Black Americans. I don't care if you just got general questions about genealogy, tribal citizenship, anything in between. Don't be shy. Request to join up. If you're on YouTube, there's a StreamYard link posted in the chat. If you're on TikTok, you should already know how to call in. But if we don't have any more callers in the next few minutes, we'll just go ahead and wrap up this broadcast. Lord knows I've already dealt with a lot of ignorance for one day. We already had old boy calling in earlier talking about some what he say, y'all? What he say? He said it was a Mexican mutt muffin. The Mexican mutt muffin claimed he was half Spanish, half indigenous, but he didn't really want to acknowledge the Major La Raza, the Black Guermento. He didn't want to acknowledge any African heritage, even though most of the African slaves went to Latin America. He didn't acknowledge any Filipino heritage, even though Spanish conquistadors brought Filipino slaves to Latin America. I mean, it's just strange, guys. It's just strange. Blue says, yeah, Mike, you cooked him. Hey, flame broiled. Somebody got to do it. We can't let these foreigners come into our spaces and just say a bunch of dumb shit thinking they can get away with it. No. Cite your source. What's your claim? Let's fact check it. Oh, you're wrong. What's your claim? Let's fact check it. Oh, you're wrong. Come on. We got somebody calling in from the YouTube side of things. Lachandria? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Go ahead, unmute yourself. Let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
No, there's nothing on my mind.
If there ain't nothing on your mind, then why are you calling in? And why are you sound so loud? Is there any way you can turn the microphone down a little bit or step away from the mic? Let's try that again. Hopefully you're not going to be that loud. The first question was, where are you calling in from?
I'm from Florida. I'm in Florida.
Yeah, brother or sister. You gotta like turn that down. You sound extremely loud for no reason. Here, guys, I'm not sure if it's super loud on your end. Maybe it's just me because I got headphones on. I'm just going to turn my headphones down a bit. You said you're calling in from where? You got to unmute yourself.
I'm calling from Florida.
Okay, from Florida. Are you calling from a phone or?
Well, I didn't pull my laptop up. I just used my phone for this function.
Is there any way you could like move the phone away from your mouth a little bit? It's just so loud.
Yes, I can. Well, hold on. Let me do something. Hold on. Let me go turn the TV down in the background. Maybe that's what's doing the noise. Okay, give me a moment.
No, hey, I'm not hearing background noise. I'm just hearing your voice very loud.
So, am I still loud?
Audience, let me know. Is she still loud? Put a 0 in the chat if she is still loud. Put a 1 in the chat if she's at a reasonable volume. Give me some feedback, y'all. Give me some feedback. I turned my headphones down already, so I can't tell no more. Let me see what the TikTok chat's talking about. No, they're saying you're still too loud. Turn the phone down.
The phone is all the way down.
No, but can you like move it away from your mouth?
It's moved.
Okay, well, can you move it farther? Like just extend your hand and keep it fully extended, and maybe that'll help. But either way, go ahead and let us know what's on your mind.
I'm pretty much. You claim that you're helping people to be a part of the corporation. Is that what you do? You go to?
Ma'am, no. I never made any claim that I help people become a part of a corporation. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, when you asking people or you're telling people that they need to get a piece of validity or validation.
Ma'am, I never told a single person that they need to get a piece of validity or validation. What are you talking about?
So you offer the people, correct?
I offer people what?
Of their natural rights. So you're telling people their natural right has to be given through the corporation.
Ma'am, what kind of pseudo shit are you talking about? I have never made the claim that someone's natural right needs to be given by a corporation. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
Offer the biggest, you offer them, right?
What do I offer them?
Well, you tell them to get a card.
I don't tell anybody to get a card. I don't think you even know what I do. Maybe you should just like calm down and say, "Hey Mike, this is the first time I came across you. What do you do? What's your occupation? What are you trying to motivate people to do?" Maybe you should ask questions instead of coming up here making pseudo statements that I'm trying to tell people they have to get their natural right through a corporation and get a card. Where is this coming from? Is this your first time tuning in?
No, it's not. So let me ask you.
So if it's not your first time tuning in, where have I ever made the statement that you have to get your natural right through a corporation?
Do you not people
Offer people what?
their genealogy? Okay, let's start here. You say, hey.
No. Let's start with you finishing out your sentence. You couldn't even finish your sentence, so you abandoned it halfway. Finish your sentence. I offer people what?
I did nothing. You interrupted me.
Yes, because you're not making sense to anybody.
I did. You don't want to hear me out.
No, I don't want to hear you in general, but the fact that you're still here means that I'm trying to hear you out. Go ahead.
Would like to hear me out, then be concise then. Okay, so I would like to ask you this question. What do you offer to people when it comes to their genealogy?
You better come correct, little lady. You don't get to come up here making claims that I'm offering corporation identity, that I'm offering cards. And then when I correct you, then you finally want to calm down and ask me, what am I offering people? You should have started with that. Don't come up here trying to put words in my mouth, trying to claim I'm telling people they got to get a natural right through a corporation. And then when I correct your ass, now you want to calm down and ask, well, Mike, what do you offer people? You should have started there. But you know what, guys? We run this like the Roman Colosseum. Stay right where you're at, LaShandra. We're going to let the audience vote. Put a 0 in the chat if you don't care to hear from her and you want to get to the next caller, and put a 1 in the chat if you want me to not only bring her back, but mute myself and give her a 2-minute timer to speak uninterrupted for 2 minutes straight. 0 if you don't want to hear from her, 1 if you do. I'm seeing a lot of zeros. I'm seeing a lot of zeros. I'm seeing a few ones. I'm seeing a few ones now. I'm seeing more ones. Ma'am, the people want to hear what you have to say. So let me put up a timer and mute myself so you can speak uninterrupted, because I'm trying to follow along here. Give me just a second. We'll give you 2 minutes uninterrupted. Here's the timer. And the timer begins. Oh, wait, hold on. My live audience cannot see the timer. Give me just a second, ma'am. Give me just a second. Let me make sure my TikTok audience can also see the timer so they know that I'm really giving you a fair shake up here. I would really love to hear you out. It's just when you start off with charged emotional statements, making false claims about what I'm offering people or what I'm claiming, man, you can't do that. All right, here we go. So now TikTok can see the timer. There we go. All right, ma'am, the time starts when you start speaking.
So, once again, I would ask you, what are you truly offering the people for their natural right? First and foremost, natural rights. Nothing that has to be given to them, nothing that they have to sign up for. So, my only question, and we're going to end it before the 2 minutes, is what are you truly giving the people? And I'll wait for your answer.
Oh, so she doesn't need a whole 2 minutes. Okay, let me just pause the timer, get rid of that. Cool. Well, if your question, which is a question you should have started off asking instead of making asinine statements, if your question is, what am I offering people? It's genealogy services. Now go ahead. What's your next question?
So the service that they can really look up for themselves if they take the time out and just go to an ancestry.com. They can go to the Lateral Saints website also, because mostly Lateral Saints people hold a lot of the records. They can also go to National Archives and get that information. So with your services, then after you provide their genealogy, how
I don't provide people genealogy, ma'am. I make myself available for genealogy consultations where I teach them the 3-step process me and my family used to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation in 2021. That's exactly what I offer people. Now you may continue.
Yeah, so you're once again, you said get tribal citizenship.
Not travel, ma'am, tribal. Go ahead.
That's what I said. You want to be recognized by a corporation.
Ma'am, a tribe is not a corporation, and it's not that I want to be recognized. It's that if my ancestors were a part of a certain tribe, then that means it's owed to me to also have citizenship in that tribal nation. Why are you so upset? Are you mad that people are doing their genealogy? Are you mad that people pay me to consult with me instead of going to the Latter-day Saints archive, whatever the hell you were talking about? What? When I bring you back, just answer this question. I need a yes or a no. Do you need the timer again to speak uninterrupted so you can get your thoughts out? Yes or no? Unmute yourself.
Well, no, I'm not angry.
Ma'am, I asked you, do you need a timer again so you can speak uninterrupted? Yes or no?
Would you like to give me one?
Do you want one? Yes or no?
If you would like to extend it, then
Well, if you want one, then I'm nice enough to extend one. Last time you didn't even use the whole 2 minutes, so I guess we'll give you a minute 30. Give me a second. Jesus, I never thought that I'd speak with someone so emotional about the fact that I'm providing genealogy services to an underserved community. Okay. I'm such a bad guy, guys. I teach you how to trace your heritage. Shame on me. What are we talking about? Hold on, ma'am. Let me bring up the timer again. Jesus Christ. Lord, oh Lord. A minute 30. All right, and the time starts when you start talking.
First and foremost, we're not underserved. What is underserved is you not serving properly to the people, right? So when you provide your so-called service, you're not doing justice when you're on top of that, telling the people that they need to go sign up to Muskogee when they already know they.
Okay, we're going to pause you because now you're coming off like an imbecilic, insecure, emotional, babbling bitch. I said I provide genealogy services. I teach people how to trace their heritage. I never said that I teach people how to get citizenship with my tribe, ma'am. Not every Black American descends from members of my tribe, ma'am. What are you talking about? You said that our community is not underserved when it comes to genealogy. Yes, we are. You're wrong. You said I'm not properly serving the people, yet you can't tell us what you're doing to serve our community. You say I'm not properly serving the people when I literally have my clients in the chat. And some of them called in earlier thanking me for the work that I do for them. But I'm not properly serving the people because she thinks I'm trying to get people enrolled in the Muskogee Creek Nation. What kind of pseudo shit are we on tonight? Lord, you got to stay on ice. I got to see what my chat's talking about because this is wild. This is crazy. This is the goofiest shit I done. Oh Lord, this is the goofiest shit I done heard of. I can't believe you're a genealogist and you're teaching Black Americans how to trace their indigenous roots, Mike. You're not serving the people right. They should go to the Latter-day Saints archive, Mike. Yeah, you done fucked around and found out. Dumbass babbling broad. We got another live caller. Empress, let us know where you calling in from and what's on your mind.
I'm calling from California. And how you doing tonight, Chief?
Hey, I was doing good until I had to speak with that caller. Jesus. I feel like I
Yeah,
lost some brain cells on that one.
I was down in the chat chilling, and I just wanted to say, she's dead wrong. All that stuff she's talking about how you're trying to get people to sign up for a corporation, she done lost her mind. And about her saying, well, all other people have to do if they want to know their genealogy, and she listed all these sites that charge thousands of dollars to do their genealogy. She sounds like a big hater to me, because you're a genealogist and you're offering a service to help people learn their heritage and search the truth about their lineage, their bloodline, and their family, and find historical facts, land plots, um, certain stories about the lives of their ancestors.
And real
And
quick,
here
there's a little
she
bit of
goes.
background noise. I think you
Oh,
may
oh,
have me
sorry,
playing on
sorry,
the
sorry.
speaker.
I sure do. I got you on TV. I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's all good. Mama, I made it. I'm on TV.
And
Go
I
ahead.
was like, I'm sorry about that chat also to everybody. So I was like, what gives her the right to be so highly opinionated about someone else's heritage and their genealogy? If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. And don't ma'am her, because she was being very loud and disrespectful. I don't appreciate how she was talking to you, Mike.
Wait,
That's why I had to call
is
in.
that the same? Is that the same chick who from the jump was screaming and we had to tell her to hold the phone away?
Yeah, that's the same one. Hold the phone away from your mouth. It's one thing to be loud, but it's terrible to be loud and wrong. Now, I am one of his genealogy clients, and I did schedule a consultation with him. Me and my sister did, and we found out a lot about our family history. Actually, the stuff that we learned through Mike was way much better than the other stuff that we were finding out on other sites. And actually, the things that he taught us and he showed us has changed the lives not just of me, my sister, but my mother, her five sisters, all of our children, all of my cousins and their children. It has helped us out a lot to learn about who we are and where we come from, and the things that we have been missing out on, and teaching us how to learn the things again, relearn them, and heal, and be proud of where we come from and who we are. So don't get up here trying to discredit him like he's trying to make somebody sign up for a corporation. You are, and everyone here that lives here in the United States is already have a social security number and is part of a corporation, miss.
Hey, she's slaving away for some white man's corporation 9 to 5, but she gonna
Right
call in
now.
talking about a corporation.
Right
She's
now as
gonna
we speak.
critique me. She's gonna critique me, claiming I'm not serving our community right when she's not serving our community at all. She working for a white man somewhere.
And for her to try to defer people from finding out their heritage and coming to you, because the services that you offer and at the price that you offer is very, very low, and it's accessible for the community, because everybody don't have $3,000 and $4,000 to do their genealogy, especially not in this day and age when we have Trump in office. So I don't like that about her. And I'm trying to be very, very, I'm trying not to go there, because girl, I want
No,
to
no, no.
say,
Okay, hey, go there. I already called her an imbecilic babbling bitch. We can go there. It's fine.
okay, because I know I don't want your channel to get
Hey,
censored.
her
Okay,
dumb
so
ass is paying taxes to a private corporation called the IRS, but she thinks I'm trying to get people to sign up for. I'm not even trying to motivate people to get tribal citizenship. I'm trying to motivate them to do their genealogy. And if they find indigenous ancestors and they want tribal citizenship, I can show them how to do that. I mean, with some people hire me to do their genealogy research for them, and they say to me, Mike, I really don't care about being a member of a tribe. I just want to know if my ancestors were ever slaves or not. I want you to do the research so I learn where my family even comes from. What states were my ancestors in before Georgia?
that's
Well,
exactly what I
did,
was going to say,
did
Chief.
any of my ancestors fight in the Civil War? Did any of my ancestors get imported from another country? Were any of my ancestors African slaves? There's so many reasons for someone to do genealogy research other than to become a part of a tribe.
Right, exactly. And it's so many different avenues that genealogy serves for. You know what I'm saying? Just to know where you came from, know your ancestors, different family names, traits and stuff. See if there's any photos. You know, tons of historical facts. So for her to just say is you're trying to push people to go get their tribal cards and all that shit, that's nonsense. Because you don't push them. You tell them that if they do have indigenous ancestry, that possibly they can apply their self if they want to do that. But you don't tell them, oh, go do it, and trying to force it down their neck. You're letting them know it is the avenue.
Have y'all ever heard me do a single broadcast where I'm telling people, hey guys, you need to go out and get a card like me? No. The fuck?
Right. And I don't know what the fuck she talking about, because you ain't got to tell me. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud I didn't found out the truth. I'm proud to know that all those whispers and the voice of my grandmother wasn't faint, even though the people inside this indoctrinated society tried to tell us different and push us towards another direction. I'm glad that I found out who I am. I'm glad that I found out that the native tongue that I'm supposed to be speaking, and the culture and the people and who we are, and where my ancestors came from, and where my grandmother was born, and where her father was born, and the land that they walked on, and the things that they went through, and Black Wall Street in Tulsa. She sounds like a Black woman, first. And second of all, she sounds like an older Black woman. Her voice tone and her voice and how she speaks and her mannerism from her voice sounds like she's an older generation, just might be the beginning of Gen X or a baby boomer. She ought to be ashamed of herself.
Furthermore, if I can interject real quick, not only that, but she's giving me like Moorish sovereign citizen cult vibes with this whole corporation talk. It's our natural birthright, corporate identity. Da 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 da. I feel like she's coming from the Moorish cult. But what do you
See,
think?
you sound right. That could be it, because I didn't even think of it that way. But now let's going back after you said that and listening to what she was saying, it
She's
could
the
be very
same kind of
possible.
she's the same kind of dumb broad who watches some videos online from more sovereign citizens. So then she goes out and starts driving with no driver license and no registration. And the next thing you know, she getting fucked up by the cops. Talking about some understand, overstand, maritime law, black laws dictionary. Yeah, she's definitely part of that pseudo shit. I can tell. I can smell it on her.
Whatever she's a part of, she need to take her ass back over there, because I ain't trying to hear none of that up over here. And she lucky she didn't talk shit in the chat, because I would have deleted all her shit and blocked her, put her on timeout in the corner. She need to go sit her ass in the corner and read a couple of books and learn her own genealogy, her damn self. We know who we is. We know who we are. And however anybody choose to handle that is their business. It's not hers to get up on here and try to disrespect my chief. That's what you're not going to do. Mike is a good man, and he's doing something good for our community. He's helping all of us out. I don't understand what the problem is with somebody doing something that's good for us and helping us out and learn our genealogy and where it came from, because once upon a time, this information was not accessible to all of us. We did not know. We only could go by oral history that we heard, and it was getting deflected up in schools and colleges and by everybody else around, pushing us towards Africa. So I don't understand what the problem is. You got a good guy sitting up here that isn't doing anything wrong at all. Everything he says and everything he's doing is factual receipts. It's true. It's true about who we are, but everybody still seems to find a problem with it. And here we have a Black woman up here with her crazy ass talking this shit. It's bad enough we got to deal with the African naysayers, the Mexican naysayers, and the Greek ones, and everybody else. And here you come, one of our own over here running your mouth. Take your ass back over there to somewhere else and sit down and read a book. And if you don't like what we talking about over here and you don't agree with it, keep your ass from up out of here.
Hey,
Period.
since you mentioned the Greek boy, have you had a chance to check out that replay?
No, I was watching
You know
it,
what? I'm gonna
the
play it for you. No,
video.
no, 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 no. I'm glad that you didn't get a chance. I'm gonna run it back right now for you and everybody else, and you stay on the panel. And I want to see what your opinion is on this. Check this out, guys. Earlier today, I did a impromptu live stream, and we had a Greek boy call in. Let me see if I can find it for everybody. Check this shit out right here. Empress, I'm gonna place you on mute. Otherwise, when I start playing this video, it's gonna echo. Check this out. Earlier today, what was it? 6 hours ago. You say
Yeah,
Mississippi and Ghana. Let's see if I can find the Greek boy.
Yes.
And what's on your mind, Mr. Cameroonian man? But you want to talk to me, yeah? Insecure African. His anger.
So it's just, I'm seeing some stuff.
Here we go.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Well,
Yo, what's up, man?
I think it was Yanni. Let me see. Is Yanni still backstage? There we go. Yanni, when I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Yo, what's up, man? My name is Yanni, and I'm calling in from New Jersey.
Okay. And where's your family from originally, Yanni?
Crete, Greece.
From Greece?
Yes.
And so are you a first generation, second generation, third generation migrant?
First generation.
And first generation means you're the first one in your family born in the US of A, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Well, what's on your mind? Lay it on us.
Okay, so I have questions, and I'm not coming off in an ignorant way. I'm genuinely curious because of what I see and hear. So it's just, I'm seeing some stuff. I want to just clarify or get some more information on it. The Africans indigenous or native.
There you go.
Right.
We ain't saying
So,
nothing about Africans being indigenous to America.
Right.
Africans
That's why I
come from
stopped
Africa.
myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I guess, can I say black? Right? That's fine?
Yeah, black indigenous,
What should I say?
native black American,
indigenous.
black aboriginals,
So
whatever you want.
So people who are black who say that they're from Africa, I'm sorry, America. Why?
Hey, so subconsciously you just automatically link black to Africa.
Right. That's what you're trained to do as an American, right?
Exactly. That's what you're trained to do as an American.
Right.
You hit it on the head.
Right. So my question is, I'm just a regular guy. I go around, and now I'm seeing this topic, and so I have questions, and I would like to hear some more information about why these type of people would be indigenous to America, because from what I see, I don't see that type of, it doesn't make sense to me. So that's where, based on some things that I have, some information I have, and then I would like to hear some information from you.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if we should start with my part.
Yeah. I think it probably would be best to start with your part, because this is news to me. You're saying that
where I'm coming from.
Yeah. This is very new to me. So you're saying that you've seen evidence or some kind of sources that make you confused about Black Americans claiming indigenous American roots?
Yes.
And what are those sources?
Okay. So from what I see, so I see humans, and I like to look at humans and be able to guess who they are, or what their ethnicity is, who they're mixed with, judging on their skin color, their eyes, their nose, their facial features, and I'm pretty good at it. I can look at someone and say, hey, are you from this island?
Let's not engage in lookership. Let's not say that the man from Greece just can look at someone and automatically tell where they're from. I asked you what sources you have. List of sources.
Right. So initially when I came up here and I said to you, I didn't say I have sources. I said based on what I know, because
based on what you know, where did you get your knowledge from?
So I get my knowledge studying. I look at people I meet. I meet a lot of people through. I've been a lot of people. I mean, so when the Greek guy comes up here and says he sees people, usually someone I can pretty much say where these people are from based on.
Okay. Hey, and there's a lot of people new to the broadcast, so let me just reiterate what's going on. This caller calling in from New Jersey. He's a first generation migrant from. I know. Hold on. And there's a little bit of background noise. So while I get everybody caught up, I'm just going to place you on mute for a second. We have somebody calling in from New Jersey. The caller just said, "Hey, I'm from New Jersey." And now you guys see why I always inquire as to where is your family from originally, because it turns out he's a first generation migrant from Greece. And he's telling us, hey, what's up with this Black Indian stuff? I mean, based on what I see, like Black folks aren't indigenous to America. And I ask, well, what's your source? Where's this coming from? And he's like, well, I just see people and I can just know by their phenotype where they come from.
I never said if they were here from not. I never got to that point. You just made an accusation that
Sir, here's the rules of engagement. When I mute you and I speak, you don't unmute yourself and interrupt me. That's poor decorum. As soon as I'm done with my statements, I will literally say, go ahead, unmute yourself. Continue. So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, stay on mute. There you go. He's basically saying that this guy from Greece, or really guy whose ancestry comes from Greece, he can just look at people and like a Terminator, he can just analyze them and their nose and know what country they come from. Okay, go ahead and mute yourself. Let us know what else is on your mind.
Wow. So I didn't know this was going to take a turn like that. You really just got passive aggressive out of nowhere, and you made an accusation and said that I said something, and we just.
What did I just say? That's passive aggressive.
You
literally said, "Yeah, I'm muting you because it's my platform and I'm speaking and you're interrupting." How dare you say I'm passive aggressive when I just repeated what you literally said? Guys, help me out. He literally said, and I quote, "This guy from Greece can look at someone and tell where they're from." You guys heard him say it, right? Can I get some fists or feathers on YouTube if you guys heard him say it? Can I get some fists or feathers on TikTok if y'all heard him say exactly that? But when I repeat what he says, I'm passive aggressive? Okay, whatever. Unmute yourself. Go ahead. Everybody heard what you said.
The way I said it is not like, so I guess you might have took it the wrong way, and I'm not sure why. And I see how this conversation is kind of turning hostile.
Sir, it's not about taking it the wrong way. It's very disrespectful for a foreigner to come to our country and think that he can visibly tell people based on lookership where they come from. That's rude. That's disingenuous. That's distasteful, but that's neither here nor there. I was just trying to get your sources so that I can share with you my sources, and you already let us know you have no source. Your evidence is what you see in your suggestive reality. That's your source.
Okay, so I'll just jump to the source part.
There we go.
Okay, right, I'll just jump to the source part. And we know, for example, people with wider noses come from humid climates, and we don't find these type of climates in America. We also don't find
we don't find humid climates in America.
You're a pussy, bro. You're a pussy. Fuck you and your life.
It's not that I'm a pussy. You're an insecure little white boy that wants to come and dictate heritage to us because you think that people with wide noses come from humid climates and there's no humid climates in America. What is he talking about? Guys, apparently the Americas has no humid climates. There's nobody with wide noses in America, guys. I'm a pussy. I'm passive aggressive. Clearly, you're infatuated with us, our indigeneity, and your colors just showed through. You just exposed yourself. How can you say I'm passive aggressive when you literally just crashed the fuck out and fled the stage? That's passive aggressive. Don't come up here acting like a little bitch boy. And the crazy part is, if he could have gave me a source, I could have gave him a source. If he could have said, Mike, here's a book that says all people with wide noses come from Africa, then I could have gave him a source to counter that. If he said, Mike, here's the name of a researcher, of an academic that says that there's no humid climates in America, then I could have provided a source to counter that. But we couldn't even get there because his opening remarks were predicated off of what he thinks based on what he sees. All right. And the confusion lies in this. You think somehow I'm being rude by muting you. You think somehow I'm being rude with the way I'm engaging with you. But let's call it what it is. We have yet another fucking foreigner trying to come to our country, our house, telling us who we motherfuckers stay in Greece. Why aren't you in Greece eating fucking olives and shit and touching on little? Oh, wait, we ain't gonna get there. You know how them Greek get down, right? Y'all know how them Greek folks get down, wearing the robes and touching on little. Oh, y'all know how the Greek people get down. If you know, you know. Wasn't Socrates fucking on a little? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. We know how y'all get down in Greece. And we got a first generation migrant from Greece trying to call in and say, hey, bro, like, I see people and I can just like tell where they're from. Didn't he say that verbatim? Didn't he literally say verbatim, I can see people and tell where they come from? And when I repeat his asinine statement, I'm passive aggressive. So I guess when you curse me out and run away, you acting like a baby back Greek bitch. Okay. Okay. Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it. Empress, what do you think about this? What do
First
you
of
think about this?
all, he said what he said and he meant it. It's like a
It's like
little
a little
echo. Hold
echo.
on.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, no. Hold up. It's on my end. My bad. My bad. Go ahead. Go for it. You were saying?
Okay, first of all, he said what he said and he meant it. He just didn't like how it sounded when you repeated it back to him because he was trying to sugarcoat and trying to lowball his racism of what he was saying. And when you repeated it back, he heard exactly how he sound and it pissed him off. He's like, "Oh no, I wasn't trying to say it like that." No, that's exactly what you said, and that's exactly what you meant. You sat up here and said you can tell what country everybody is from by looking at them, which is false. Because if he really looked at an African and then looked at us, he could tell that we are not the same people. If you look at us and look at an Aboriginal over in Australia, you can tell they are not the same people. If you look at a dark-skinned Indian from over there in India and look at us, you could tell we are not the same people. And the same thing with Fijians, Tongans, and the dark Pacific Islanders and all that. You can tell that we are not the same people, period. So he was full of shit from the get-go. And second of all, I don't know why this white boy from Greece, first generation immigrant, is sitting up over here trying to tell us about who we are. When you don't know nothing about this country as it is, you ain't been here long enough to know anything. Your grandparents, your mom and dad.
Time out. Hold on. Clearly, he knows nothing about this country because he made the ignorant statement that all people with broad noses come from a humid climate and America doesn't have humid climates. Motherfucker, you ain't never been to Miami? You ain't never been to Louisiana? We don't have humid climates. Okay.
He ain't never been to California. He ain't never been deep down in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, none of that. He ain't never, it's hot here. It is hot. It is hot. And it gets hot way up in Washington too. It be hitting 86, 96 shit. They be talking about it's a heat wave. Now here in California, it be hitting 115. As far as the humidness of the, like the wet dryness, yeah, okay. We have that here. I don't know if he feels that in New Jersey, but we have that here in the States. Seriously.
I don't think he's ever made it out of Jersey. This
And
motherfucker on the
he's
East Coast
Greek.
in New Jersey talking about, dude, broad noses come from humid climates, dude, and there's no humid climates in America, bro.
Yeah, here goes the descendant of Greece over here in our country as if they haven't done enough. They already helped burn down one of our outposts over there in Egypt, tore down the the libraries and stuff, mad because we wouldn't give them all the secret codes. And here he is, still over here, generations later, eons later, over here, still on the same bullshit. Mind your business, boy. Go eat a falafel.
Thanks. Well, hey, Empress, stay right where you are. I got somebody on TikTok trying to call in. Let's see what they have to say, and then I'm gonna get right back to you. Backstage, we've got who is this? Jody or something. Jody, when I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
What's up, bro?
Where are you calling in from, Jody?
VA.
From where?
Virginia, VA.
Okay. And are you a descendant of first, second, or third generation migrants?
My last name is Jefferson, so it go way back.
I don't know what your last name Jefferson has to do with my question.
I've been here for centuries, bro. Yeah, both my parents.
You said what about centuries?
Both my parents been here for centuries.
Okay, so when I say do you descend from a first, second, or third generation migrant, your answer would be no.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Let us know what's on your mind.
So you're claiming that we're indigenous to America?
I'm not claiming you're indigenous. I don't know your genealogy.
I said you.
No, you said we. Stay on mute for just a second so I can make sure I'm not getting old and losing my hearing. Guys, did he just say me or we? Did he say you referring to me, or did he say we? Everybody says he said we. Okay, so I did hear that right. Go ahead, unmute yourself. You clearly said we, sir.
Okay, so I'm talking about our demographic of people. We're the same people, right? We're supposed to be indigenous.
No, I don't know you.
We're indigenous to America, right?
Sir, I don't know you. I don't know your genealogy. I can't speak on your heritage.
We both look the same, bro. We're both light-skinned.
Just because we're both light-skinned, it don't mean
We
we
are,
share
yeah.
the same genealogy, sir.
I'm just saying, bro. You're being weird.
You're being weird claiming that because we're light-skinned, we have the same heritage. You're being weird by lying and saying that you didn't say we when everybody heard you say we. Guys, this is what we're going to do. Stay on mute for just a second while I allow people to vote on your fate. Stay on mute while I allow my audience to vote. Put a 0 in the chat if you don't care to hear from him. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to put a timer up and give him 2 minutes to speak uninterrupted. 0 or 1. And stay on mute while they vote on your fate. I'm seeing a lot of zeros so far. I'm seeing 1, 1. I see more zeros. Let me get over to the YouTube feed real quick. Hold on a second. Over on YouTube, I'm seeing some 1s. I'm seeing some zeros. There's more zeros than 1s, but you know what? I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to cater to the minority. So since there are some people putting 1s in the chat, let me pull up a timer. Thank you for staying on mute. I'll let you know when it's time to come off. Let me just put up a timer real quick and give you 2 minutes uninterrupted to get it all off your chest. Hold on. Oops, not 20 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, go ahead, unmute yourself. The time starts when you start speaking.
All right, so I just want to know what does it do for us claiming to be indigenous to America? Does it make you feel better about yourself? Does it make you feel superior? Does it give you like some type of like leverage over everybody? Do you feel like I'm not understanding why you guys are so pressed on being indigenous to America, because America told you that Africa was dirty or Africa was this and that and pushing propaganda. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of this shit that you guys talk about is very colorist and very xenophobic. And the thing and you guys are erasing people's history. You guys are, putting pictures up. You guys are picture historians, pseudoscience. It doesn't make any sense. You guys are very ignorant. All you do is throw ad hominems. And I'm not understanding like the whole thing that you guys have going on right now. Your whole movement is full of entropy. And your rhetoric is just like white supremacists. You use white supremacist terms. You use mongoloid, negroid, different terms like that to describe people. It makes no sense. How are you going to use white people terms and use white people logic and basically say, oh, we don't use white man history, we don't use white man science, but we're going to use all their terms? You guys have an identity crisis, and it's a problem. You guys are sitting up here and telling us that we're indigenous to America, and disrespecting the actual indigenous people of this country, while we have other stuff going on. We have our country being ran by fucking fascists. You know what I'm saying, bro? We have Palantir that's about to come up. The surveillance of everybody in this country. You guys don't really understand what's going on. It's all a distraction. It's Coin Intel Pro 2.0. You guys aren't understanding. Like, you guys are so distracted by this stupid ass bullshit that's going on in this country. You know what I'm saying? You guys are trying to sit here and make everybody, you know what I'm saying, indigenous, and we got this going on. You not like us. It's fucking ridiculous. It's frustrating.
All right, sir, and that's your time. Go ahead and stay on mute while I acknowledge all the points you made and respond to them one by one. That's how we have civil discourse after all. Guys, I think he lied to us. I think when I asked, is he a first, second, or third generation migrant, I think he's lying because there's something that's not adding up. First, he was referring to all of us as a we, as if he's a member of our community. Now he's saying you guys this, you guys that, you guys this. It wouldn't be the first time we had an African migrant lie and say that they're not an African migrant, but that's neither here nor there. His first statement, and I'm just gonna list all his statements and then I'm gonna tackle them one by one. His first statement was, What does it do for us claiming to be indigenous to America? Does it make you superior? Another statement he made was, all you guys do is put pictures up. Another statement he made was, I'm using white supremacist terms. And then he said a bunch of other shit, but those are the main points, okay? So let's tackle them one by one. If your question to me is what does it do for us being indigenous to America, it's everything, dummy. If we do our genealogy and find that we were lied to and we descend from reclassified indigenous tribes who were enslaved in place, not West African slaves, then that changes everything. But clearly you don't get that because you're not a member of our community, which is why I was so surprised that you started off this discussion using the term we, but you know you're not one of us because you then started saying, you guys, you guys, you guys. Next thing, you say all we do is put pictures up. Sir, not all I do is put pictures up. I'm actually a member of a federally recognized tribe, the Muskogee Creek Nation. I descend from famous Indian chiefs that are written about in books such as the Indian Territory, its chiefs, legislators, and leading men. My indigenous grandfather has a whole chapter about him. He's listed on the Dolls Roll as a full-blooded Indian, and you can't get up here and name your African ancestor, though. But I can name my indigenous ancestors. See how that works? You then said that we're using white supremacist terms like Negroid and Mongoloid. Nowhere tonight did I ever use the term Negroid or Mongoloid. You brought those terms up. So go ahead and unmute yourself. And the first question that I have for you, since I've already answered your questions, is where do you think your family comes from?
My ancestry?
No.
No, they come from Virginia.
Sir, before Virginia, where does your family come from?
They were slaves.
Being a slave is a status. That's not a country of origin. Unmute yourself. Where did your family come from?
The majority, Nigeria.
Oh, thank you.
Transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade.
Stay on mute. Stay on mute. I'm speaking right now. So when I ask if you're a first, second, or third generation migrant and you say no, but now you're saying your family comes from Nigeria, wait, hold on.
Oh, you're twisting my words.
He doesn't know what stay on mute means. So here, I'm going to give you one last warning. When I mute you, don't unmute yourself. You wait until I'm done speaking. And when I'm done speaking, I will say, unmute yourself now, sir. If you can't follow those simple directions, you can kick rocks because you want to talk to me. I don't care to talk to you. I didn't call in to talk to you. It's the other way around. So again, I started off asking him, is he a first, second, or third generation migrant? He said no. Now he's saying his family's from Nigeria due to the transatlantic slave trade. Well, hey, my bad. I shouldn't have asked if he's a first, second, or third generation migrant. I should have asked, are you a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th generation migrant? Because either way we cut it, sounds like his people came from Africa, whereas mine didn't. So now you understand why we were confused by this whole we rhetoric earlier. You're not a member of our community. Now, I've got to ask you, when you say that your family came from Nigeria due to the transatlantic slave trade, where did you find that information? You may unmute yourself.
Ancestry.com.
And when you say you found it on Ancestry.com, are we talking about a DNA test?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? When I talk about being indigenous, when I mention my indigenous ancestors written about in books, it's not because I took a DNA test. It's because I actually did genealogy research. But he's up here thinking he's Nigerian because of a DNA test. I got it. Sir, have you ever traced your family's genealogy? Unmute yourself now.
Yes.
And how far back were you able to go on your maternal and paternal line?
Like the 1700s.
And what was the name of the African ancestor you found?
The African descendant.
What was the name of the African ancestor you found?
You know how slavery worked?
Okay. I guess I have to repeat the question slower. What was the name of the African ancestor you found. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
You said the African descendant, right? The slave trade, you know, like the thing that's like there's a
So is the answer no? Is the answer no, Mike? I haven't actually found an African on my family. Hey, Mike, I don't know the name of my African ancestor. Is that what your answer is? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
you know what, bro? Like you really
You
have
know what, bro? Name your African ancestor or tell us you don't know. And then we can continue with our conversation. And I'll even do another vote and see if they want to give you 2 more minutes uninterrupted because I'm so fair. But in order for us to proceed, you have to answer the question. Either give me a name of your African ancestor or tell me you don't know the name of your African ancestor. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
no, I don't know. So
Okay, you don't know. Thank you. Now let me address that, and then I'm going to let the chat vote to see if you get another 2 minutes uninterrupted. So he's talking about, I'm trying to make everybody indigenous. We're claiming we're indigenous when we're really not. But I can name my indigenous ancestor. I showed you a picture of him even, and he can't name his African ancestor. We got people trying to call into us and force feed an African identity onto us, but they can't even find an African in their family tree, and we're finding indigenous Americans in our family tree. He made the excuse that he doesn't know the name of his African ancestor because of slavery, but my ancestors went through slavery too, and I can still name my indigenous ancestors because guess what? Indigenous people were enslaved in place. Barely any African slaves were shipped to North America. Most of them went to Brazil. But guys, put a 0 in the chat if you don't want to hear him anymore. Put a 1 in the chat if you want him to get another 2 minutes uninterrupted. Don't worry, sir. The audience likes hearing from you. I think that they're going to give you another 2 minutes uninterrupted. I'm seeing a lot of 0s. I'm seeing some 1s. Blue says, Mike, help him by teaching. Hey, you got to be open to learning new things. Copper says, keep cooking him. I'm seeing some 0s. Blue says it's like pulling teeth. HTD Mom says, guess you're misinformed. Copper says he's too easy. Let's see. Okay, I'm seeing some 1s. I'm seeing some 1s. Let me go ahead and bring the timer back. Give me a moment. Stay on mute until I let you know when it's time to come off. Let me give you another 2 minutes uninterrupted. And this isn't the first time I've had this discussion. We have people that call in claiming to know our genealogy, but they haven't even done theirs. And I'm sorry, he claims he did do his genealogy and it traced it to the 1700s, but even still, he can't find any Africans on his family tree, but he's telling us that we're not indigenous. Okay, hold on. Sir, go ahead and mute yourself. The time starts when you start speaking.
yeah, so I want to know how far genealogy goes back. If it doesn't go back past the 1400s, so I don't want to hear anything about genealogy. If you can't tell me who your ancestors were from the 1400s and back then, if you can't tell me your evolutionary story or your theory or whatever I'm saying was going on with you guys, if you guys can't tell me, like, you can't put that together, it doesn't make any sense. It only goes back so far. It only goes back to the 1400s at the furthest. So for you to sit here and be like, oh, I'm indigenous, and you have no idea of like what was going on before that, you can't tell me your ancestor, you can't tell me a story, you can't tell me your language, you can't tell me your customs, you can't tell me how you came about, you can't tell me where you guys first started out, you can't tell me your migration patterns, you can't tell me none of that. It makes no sense. So for you to sit here and be like, oh, I'm indigenous, yeah, you can tell me your ancestor from what, 1700 or 1800s, that's fine, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? No one's taking that away from you. You're indigenous. That's your story. But go back further. Tell me a story from, you know what I'm saying, the 1300s. Tell me something about that. I don't want to hear nothing about the 1700s no more. I want to hear your stories from back then. I want to hear your customs. I want to hear how you came about. Because this whole thing that's going on right now, bro, you guys are only going back so far. It's bullshit. Oh, my grandma told me I was indigenous. We were Indian. You know what I'm saying? She told you the story of we had some Indian in us. She never said we were indigenous. Your grandmother never said you were indigenous. She said you were mixed. Understand what mixed is and understand what being indigenous is. It's an admixture. No one's taking away your indigeneity. You know what I'm saying? You guys, okay, you're mixed. Fine, that's cool. but you're not indigenous. You have indigenous blood. There's a difference. Learn it. What the fuck?
Let me go ahead and put you on mute. Make sure to stay on mute until it's your turn to speak. Talk about a crash out. Let's restate his claims. He says genealogy only goes far, or excuse me, he says genealogy only goes back so far. True. He says, you can't tell me about your ancestors from the 1400s. You can't tell us about your African ancestors from the 1400s. You claimed you traced your ancestry to the 1700s, and you still can't name a single African. Okay. You then say, we can't tell you the language, the customs, the story, where we started out, our migration pattern. Sir, you never asked those questions. How can you assume that we don't know the answer to those questions, but you never even asked us in the first place? You didn't say, hey, Mike, you're a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation. What's your tribe's creation story? Hey, Mike, your family are members of the Muskogee Creek Nation. What's your tribal language? Hey, Mike, your family are Muskogee Creek Indians. What are your migration patterns? If you asked those questions, you would have got the answers you seek. And the real asinine part is he can't tell us his African language. He can't tell us the customs of his African ancestors. He can't tell us the migration patterns of his African ancestors. He's going to tell us he's Nigerian because he took an Ancestry.com DNA test. And then he has the nerve to tell us, Grandma didn't say you're Indian. She said you're mixed. Motherfucker, you don't know what our parents or grandparents told us. You don't know us. You're not a member of our community. You're a foreigner. I don't understand why he can't get that. I would never in my life call into another man's live stream trying to tell him what oral story his family did or did not pass down. That is the most crazy behavior. But guys, as always, I like to give you guys the luxury of choice. So put a 0 in the chat if you don't want to hear from him anymore, and put a 1 in the chat if he gets another 2 minutes uninterrupted. I literally named my indigenous ancestor, showed a picture, showed a book where he's written about. I'm a member of an indigenous tribe. The caller's not a member of an African tribe. The caller can't name his African ancestry. The caller says he did his genealogy and couldn't even find no Africans. The only evidence he has of African Nigerian lineage is a DNA test. Woo! Okay. Can't tell us the language of Nigeria. Can't tell us the customs of his Nigerian ancestors, but he wants to demand that we tell him that information about our ancestry. Guys, this is strange. I'm seeing a lot of zeros this time. I think people are really growing impatient with you. I'm seeing a lot of zeros. I'm seeing some ones, though. They said, let him crash out. Some people are saying he can kick rocks. Someone says, let him get it all out. Yeah, you know what? Again, I'm going to cater to the minority. There's a few people putting ones in the chat. So let's give you another 2 minutes. Sir, unmute yourself. The time starts when you start talking.
Bro, that's your story. I'm talking about all the other pretendians. All the people sitting up here saying, oh, I'm Blackfoot, I'm Cherokee. You know what I'm saying? They all go based off stories that their grandmother told them. But when they do their DNA test or genealogy and stuff like that, it's one grandparent. You have 250 different grandparents, great-grandparents, and so forth. So I'm not understanding how one person being native and your family makes you indigenous. Just because you have a certain hair texture, just because you look a certain way, oh, I don't look African. What does the African look like? Because last time I checked that in Africa, there's different hair textures, there's different colors, there's different, you know what I'm saying, features, there's different customs, because Africa is the motherland, not America. America's not the motherland. I'm sorry to say it. There was nobody here. Half of America was frozen over during that time when humans first came about in Ethiopia, and then people spread out. You guys know nothing about evolution. You know nothing about that. Your history, your understanding of human history is rudimentary. You guys have the knowledge of a kid. You sit here and don't understand that people, you know what I'm saying, adapt to their climates, and people, you know what I'm saying, migrate. and people and different stuff like that. You have no idea what's really, you know what I'm saying? It's very sad, bro. A lot of these people, a lot of these pretendians are high school dropouts. They see a picture and it looks like them, and they're like, oh, that's me. Oh, I'm saying I have an identity crisis. Oh, I'm saying I ain't no African, because all their life, America has told them Africa's dirty. Oh, for 25 cents a day, you can feed an African. Oh, Africa, you know what I'm saying, has dirty water. African that has no resources. But America goes over there and takes all their resources, you know what I'm saying, stages coups over there, destabilizes countries. Anytime they try to get, you know what I'm saying, together and some type of unity, America's like, nah. Fuck all that. We want to come over there and take.
All right, stay on mute until it's your turn to speak again. Whew, y'all just really like watching a train wreck, I guess. So it's interesting. He says, okay, cool, you're indigenous. That's your story. Guess what? You claim to descend from Nigerian slaves captured by their fellow Nigerians and sold to Europeans for trinkets. That's your story. That's not our story. When I prove my indigenous heritage, he claims that's just my story. But he took a DNA test saying he comes from a Nigerian slave, and he wants to ascribe that to all of us. That makes no sense. He then says people are saying they're Blackfoot and they're Cherokee, and they're going off of stories that their family told them. You don't know how people are reaching the conclusion that they're Blackfoot or Cherokee. You don't know what research they've done. You don't know if it's solely oral tradition. You don't know if they have tribal citizenship with those nations. You don't know what you're talking about, but you're so emotionally invested in us and what we identify as, which is why the prompt tonight was Africans have the biggest identity crisis. Because here you are, an African with a huge identity crisis. He then says that Africa's the motherland. If Africa's the motherland, why aren't you there? If Africa's the motherland, why are you in my ancestral homeland? If Africa's the motherland, why don't you move from Virginia to a country in Africa? Because if I thought that some other place in the Eastern Hemisphere was the motherland, oh my God, I'd be running over there as fast as I can. Who wouldn't want to be in their motherland? And then he says that we have the knowledge of kids that drop out of high school or something. I mean, he's just clearly emotional. I don't understand why he's so emotional. I don't understand why at midnight he would want to call in trying to convince strangers that they descend from Africans because he took a DNA test that says he's Nigerian. When I prove my indigenous heritage, oh, Mike, that's nothing. You guys are mixed. That's just your story. But when he claims he's Nigerian, he has to force feed that on everybody around him. Why? Because he has an identity crisis. Guess what? There are some of us who also have African admixture. They call themselves Afro-Indigenous. They have no issue with identifying with their indigenous lineage and their African lineage. But guess what? You're not talking to one of those people. And honestly, guys, I think he's lying. I don't think he's traced his maternal and paternal line to the 1700s. I think he was just pulling shit out of his ass. But either way, what we're going to do is once again, let the audience vote on your fate. 0 in the chat if you don't want to hear from him anymore. Some people are already saying drop him. Hell, 1 in the chat if you want to give him another 2 minutes. So far, he's not giving us any sources, no evidence. He's just giving us his personal feelings and his personal opinion. Okay, I got it. He can't name his African ancestor. The only reason that he even has the country of Nigeria is because he's claiming a DNA test told him that. And guess what? You're being disingenuous because your DNA test didn't say you're 100% Nigerian. It said you were 10% Nigerian, 20% Ghanaian, 30% Sierra Leonean. Let's call it what it is. Your DNA test gave you ranges and estimates about where they think your heritage may be from. And you know what your DNA test didn't do? It didn't link you to blood relatives on the continent of Africa. If we all descend from West African slaves, then when we do DNA tests, it would link us to blood relatives in Africa. A 5th cousin, a 7th cousin, a 8th cousin, twice removed or some shit. But you telling me that we should just discount the oral tradition of our ancestors. We should discount our family's genealogy. We should discount all that because some stranger wants to call in and tell us he did a DNA test, so we're all African just like him. Okay, all right. Aquila says, let his slow, dumb ass go. Someone says it's always dumbass hoes being connected to what white folks teach, that they will ignore their own family in favor of the slow hoes who tell you who you are. You are a bitch. Oh, damn. Aquila, shit. I thought I was harsh. I'm seeing a lot of zeros. They're saying goodbye. They're saying you have to go. Ronisha says, ask him why we haven't heard any African stories from our ancestors. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Our ancestors have indigenous oral tradition passed down, no African oral tradition. His own family, I doubt, had any African oral tradition passed down. And it's interesting how it brings up this slave stuff as if every Black American descends from plantation slaves. He's bringing up the slave stuff as if he doesn't know that most of the slaves in America were indigenous community. The first slaves ever in the Americas were Indians that they enslaved in place, and some of them they shipped to Europe and other colonies abroad. Lord, oh Lord, we have somebody up here with a huge identity crisis, and this is exactly why the prompt is what the prompt is. Let me guys show you the prompt again. Latinos and Africans have the biggest identity crisis. This man identifies as an African. He says Africa's the motherland, but he's not there. Can't name an African ancestor. Probably has never even been there. Hold on, I'm going to ask him. Hey, sir, unmute yourself real quick. Have you ever been to Africa?
Yeah, I have.
Which part?
Morocco.
Why don't you go to Nigeria if you think that's where your family's from?
I plan on to it.
When?
When I had the money saved up.
Oh, okay. And if you truly believe Africa's the motherland, why don't you move there?
Africa is the motherland.
Who told you that?
Because the L3 haplogroup comes out of Ethiopia.
And you think every Black American has that haplogroup?
Yes.
Oh, so you've done the genetic testing
The
of every Black American?
haplogroup? Yes, it does.
Oh, let me know when you conducted a blood test of every Black American, because I haven't had my blood drawn by you. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yeah, maybe because you're mixed.
Oh, I'm mixed. What am I mixed with? Unmute yourself. Let me know.
You're mixed with indigenous.
And what else?
African American and African.
Oh, what country in Africa? Since Africa's a continent.
Well, maybe Nigeria, Sierra Leone.
Oh, maybe Nigeria, Sierra Leone. Okay, guys. We're supposed to let fucking foreigners come to our homes and try to tell us where our ancestors come from. Meanwhile, he don't know a goddamn thing about his ancestry. This is a class act on ignorance and identity crises. Empress, go ahead, unmute yourself. What do you think about this? Go ahead.
He crashed out, Chief. He crashed out. He lost me. The young man is lost. He's very young. You can tell how he talks and how he acts. He's somewhat read, but he's read up on the wrong shit. He believes in that DNA test, which is crazy. He's been seriously indoctrinated by the American United States government. But what I will say is, I can cite my ancestor from the 1700s. His name was Louis Perryman. Yeah. And guess what? He's a Muskogee Creek. And no, it just isn't one grandparent, little man. I have 3 grandparents that I have researched so far that are indigenous Black Americans, and the bloodline goes back before any conquistador ship pulled up to the Americas. As far as the shit about our culture and our language, you know that we were enslaved in place, occupied, prisoners of war. All that was stripped from us. But we are learning now. We are learning our culture and a lot of our history right now to this day. Now, if you want to believe in that whack DNA test, go ahead and believe in it. If you think, you know what? He said he's from Virginia. of all places, and thinks that he's African and wants to believe in the DNA test. Now he could be African. There is a few of them still here. But he don't need to be worried about nothing to be going on over here, because if he is African and he's, them 10, 9, 10 generations back, he's the FBA and he don't belong up over here anyway. This NBA territory, this indigenous American territory up over here. And all of us ain't just based on one grandparent. Trust me, I wouldn't be running around with my head cut off talking about I'm MBA if I wasn't, and I wasn't for sure. And for the other ones that don't know their genealogy that say that they are, most likely they are too. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. And yes, America is the true old world. The pyramids here and the mounds here are way older than what's going on off over there in Africa.
Hey, and there's some background noise again. It's an echo. Gotta turn that down. Empress?
Um,
Here, I'll just place you on mute for a minute so there's no echo. Yeah, it's just really, really strange. It's so strange. I mean, guys, he makes it seem like I'm a indigenous supremacist. He makes it seem like I'm running around to a bunch of random Black Americans trying to force feed an indigenous identity to them. You know what's crazy? That's not what I do. That's not what we do. We say we are indigenous. We prove our heritage. We don't try to dictate everyone else's genealogy. I don't have people call into my show and I try to convince them that they're Indians when they don't think they're Indians. But these Africans want to call in and try to tell us we're all African. We're not over here trying to run around and tell everybody they're indigenous, but let one of these motherfuckers take a DNA test. Now they're going to run around like a cancer, like a virus, trying to convince everybody else they're African too. Why? Because they have an identity crisis. If your identity is based on having other people identify as the same thing as you, you are in a state of crisis. And I digress. Go ahead, Empress. Unmute yourself.
if you know where you from, then be from there. Don't try to force it off on somebody else. Because frankly, you are African. You don't got no right to come up over here and say anything to any of us up over here. If you're African, be an African, be great. Go back to Morocco and Nigeria, have fun. But don't sit up.
Hold on. He thinks his folks are from Nigeria because of the DNA test, but he didn't even choose to go to Nigeria. He chose to go to Morocco. Sounds like an identity crisis to me. Matter of fact, wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. You know what's so nuts? When we speak about that last caller's identity crisis, I mean, if he really thought that he descended from Nigerians, then why wouldn't he go to Nigeria and try to join a local clan? See how that works for you, dummy. Take your ass to Nigeria, and they're going to call you a Yankee Akata boy and say you're not one of them. You know what's even more fucked up, guys? Especially since he's from Virginia, there's a high likelihood that he actually has indigenous American heritage. And guess what? He is living proof of why they run the psyops on us. Imagine this. Imagine if he really does have no African admixture, but he descends from Virginia Indians that were reclassified through policies such as Walter Plecker's Racial Integrity Act of 1924. Guess what? This would be exactly what they wanted. A person who descends from Virginia Indians to believe the mainstream narrative about all Black folks coming from West African slaves, and then he goes and takes a DNA test that says he's Nigerian, and now he's trying to spread around like a cancer, convincing everybody else that they're West Africans too. This is exactly what they wanted. This is why they reclassified our ancestors, miseducated us, did all of this so that people like him would believe that they come from somewhere else. Congratulations. Our opposition is smiling. Walter Plecker smiles down upon you. This is exactly what they wanted. Guys, I prove my heritage every night up here. I prove my indigeneity every night up here. Imagine if that wasn't the case. Imagine if I was making content as a Pan-African saying we all come from Africa because I did a DNA test that says I'm 10% Ghanaian and the whole time I descend from Indian chiefs. That is exactly what they wanted to happen. Go ahead, Empress.
Well, the young Dr. Umar needs to go do some more research. That's how I see it. I mean, it's crazy, and you're absolutely right. The indoctrination has worked. It has worked on our youth, and it's crazy. And I that's why I said, in him being for Virginia, it's crazy that he's claiming African ancestry because Virginia is a highly populated Black indigenous. And that's crazy to me. That's insane. And I don't think he's done his genealogy either. I don't think he's done none of that because he couldn't
Well,
read.
hold on, time out. Let's just take the gloves off. Let's just take the gloves off and speak very plainly and candidly to the elephant in the room. He knows that a lot of us look at migrants questionably. So we got up here and lied and said he doesn't descend from a first, second, or third generation migrant. He lied to our faces. And we know he lied because first he started this we stuff trying to claim he's part of our community. Then he started, you guys are pretendians, you guys this, you guys that. America's done Africa so wrong and stole their resources and made you guys think Africa's poor. That's the talking point of an African migrant. But guess what? He has to defend his motherland without admitting he's a migrant. So when I ask him, how do you know your people come from Africa? That's why he said he took a DNA test that said he's Nigerian. I just clocked him. This is what you have to watch out for, guys. People lie. When people call in and you ask them if they descend from a first, second, or third generation migrant, they may lie to you. And the only way you can reveal their deception is by doing exactly what we just did, giving them all the rope they need to hang themselves with, metaphorically speaking. Go ahead, Empress.
Yeah, I think he's a tether too. I think he lied about all that stuff he was saying. And it's crazy, but they have to find some type of way to get up in here and get heard. And he knew that was the only way he was going to get any type of chance of getting a vent like he did, was to lie and say that he's been here for generations and that his parents been here for generations. Said he did his genealogy but couldn't recite any ancestors. Even if he couldn't remember the 1700 ancestor, name another one, the 18, the early 1900s. Come on, say some ancestor here. Uh excuse me. It's just kind of crazy how they'll go through any means to get up over here and say that stuff. And as far as Africa being dirty and feed the children, 25 said it is and was and still is. um they haven't made anything up over there. If the cradle of life and that's the motherland, and why haven't they built shit over there? Why they only got a couple of token cities over there that look a little bit like anything? All the dirt roads, no sidewalks, no infrastructure, hardly no water, no electricity grid up over there through that whole big ass continent, the motherland, where all them diamonds, gold, and uranium don't have shit. That's because they dirty up over there. And when I say dirty, I don't mean in the dirt sense. I mean dirty as in scheming, plotting, and all the other stuff they do, and greedy with their money. Like they try to come over here and be greedy with shit and highball with prices and everything over here, the community. But that's because they're not a part of our community. They only look out for their own community. It's not helping us out at all. They're not giving back here. They take care of each other from their community, from Africa. They don't give a fuck about us, but they want to come over here and be in all our politics, all our business, try to come and run in all these Congress seats and mayors and governors and shit and vote.
Wait, hold on real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Guys, I just audited his TikTok page. This man is definitely an African migrant. I didn't determine he's an African migrant by how he looks. It's not because of phenotype, even though you do look like a skin bleaching African. That's not why I say I proved he's African. You know how we can tell he's African? Look at what he reposts on TikTok. He reposts Africans' TikToks. Why would he be reposting a bunch of African TikToks if he's not an African? Whoa. What is up with all these African TikToks he's reposting? Why would he be reposting about what's happening in Sudan if he's not an African migrant? I mean, I don't know of any Black American that's not an African migrant, but posts a bunch of African TikToks. This makes no damn sense. Whoa. Now we really clocked him, y'all. Now we really clocked him. You know what? He's probably a Sudanese skin bleacher. That's what it is. Why are you reposting all this shit about Sudan? Black Mamba said he had the flag in his bio. Where? He got a flag in his bio too? I don't know. I don't see a flag. Maybe he was posting the flag somewhere else. Guys, all these African TikTokers he follows and reposts, and he wants to tell us he's not an African migrant, huh? Really strange behavior for someone that's not an African migrant. Yeah, that's how you clock a motherfucker up here lying about his migrant status. Go ahead, Empress. What's on your mind?
Yeah, he's Sudanese. He looked like it just from his picture. He looked like them. He from off over there.
Oh,
And
wait, time out,
yeah,
time out, time out, time out, time out. I apologize. The YouTube audience couldn't hear the audio I was playing. Let me play again these African Sudanese TikTok videos he's reposting.
What's happening in Sudan is a genocide and an occupation by a UAE-backed militia called.
I'm going to say this again. If you want to help the people of Sudan, free Palestine. If you want to help the people of Congo, free Palestine.
Yeah, you an African migrant playboy. You not slick.
United Arab Emirates.
The United Arab Emirates.
The United Arab Emirates.
United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates.
This is how you clock a motherfucker. You can get up here lying and saying your people come from Virginia and you're not an African migrant, but then we got to look at your TikTok and what you're reposting.
Stop telling people to call their representatives. We don't have a functioning government. I am not sure why this is not sunk in yet for so many of y'all. We do not have a functioning government.
I don't know what that one was about, but all the other ones have to do with Sudan and the UAE, huh?
Why are UAE-based influencers targeting Sudan online?
Damn, but why would he be so invested in the African country of Sudan if he's not Sudanese? Guys, if he really thinks it's a Nigerian because of a DNA test, why is he reposting all this shit about Sudan? Oh, this is strange behavior. Go ahead, Empress.
yeah, he's Sudanese. He is. They look like that. It's a few of them up over here. They got some of this dark skin, some of this light skin like that. They mix with that Arab stuff up over there. So they be a little bit lighter like him. That's why he's saying he's mixed. But yeah, he's too worried about our shit. He need to go on about his business because he didn't do nothing but crash out up here. Everything he was saying didn't make any sense. You already corrected him on everything about how he gonna say what our grandmothers then told us. We don't know him. You don't know us. You don't know anything about our oral traditions up over here. Matter of fact, you're an immigrant. You don't know anything about America enough to open up your mouth about anything. Anything that has to do with any of us. This our shit. They need to mind their business and worry about that shit. All the shit that's going on in his TikTok about the war and the genocide going over there, he needs to
Hold on,
focus on that.
time out. I'm gonna mute you because the echo's still there every time I talk, but it's all good. Time out. I gotta get the chat is going fucking crazy. Aquila says his accent was so off, it was crazy. Yeah, you clocked that accent, huh? Raya says, even indigenous pan goofballs don't go that damn hard for Africa. He's a Hamitic heathen. Yeah, even Pan Africans don't go that damn hard. This is a real good one. Dala says, imagine posting some free Palestine shit when Palestinians got black slaves that they call Abid and put all their black slaves in a town called a slave town. SMH, he's a fucking dummy. Yeah, not for sale TV says he got on sandals with no socks right now. Yeah, Raya says he's an emotional little tether hoe. Yeah, guys, they don't understand. They think that they can just sneak past our defenses by claiming they're not a migrant and they come from Virginia. We can tell by the way you speak, by the way you look, your rhetoric, what you repost, what your interests are. You don't think that we aren't cultural experts in identifying a member of our guys? That's why from the jump, I was telling him, you're not a part of our community. That's why from the very beginning, I was telling him, you're not one of us, because we can tell. It's not on you, it's in you. I didn't even have to give him the Native Black American test. I didn't even have to give him the test. Hey, when you were a kid in the grocery store and you asked to put something in the grocery store cart, what did your parents say to you? Hey, when you were a kid and you started crying for seemingly no reason, what did your parents say to you? Hey, in our culture, you know, we have a phrase. Can you finish the phrase for me? The first half is God is good. What's the rest? Guys, I didn't even have to give him the cultural test because we can tell he's a fucking migrant from the jump. We know that he has no idea that colloquially Native Black Americans, when they are a child and they're in the grocery store and we try to put something in the cart or ask for something, our parents would say to us, do you have grocery money? Or something along that line, right? He doesn't know, because he's not part of our culture, that when we were children and we were crying, our parents would say, and I quote, stop crying before I give you something to cry about. He doesn't know that in our community, the first half of the phrase is God is good, and the second half is all the time. I didn't even have to give him that cultural test. We know he would have failed it, but we didn't have to go there because we can tell we can smell the bush meat. We can smell the bush meat, and we can tell he fucks on camels because his Sudanese girls got too big of foreheads. I digress. Empress, what's on your mind?
No, not fuck on camels. Mike, fuck on camels. Come on, don't do them like that. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He came to the wrong chat with that bullshit. I wanted to touch back on what he said about the Mongoloid shit and the Negro shit. He don't know what Negro mean, and he don't know what Mongoloid means. Mongoloid is just another term for Mongols, which is Mongolian, and that's not derogatory. That's just facts. And Mongoloid can be used in a derogatory way, but we were meaning it as descendants from Mongolia. And as far as Negro is a term used for somebody with our phenotype here in the Americas. Okay.
Hey, I think he was a perfect example of the African identity crisis. An African calling in, pretending that they're not an African migrant, but trying to convince us that we're all African. I mean, guys, he's worried about us and what we identify as, but he's not worried about the Sudanese civil war that's been going on since 2023 to the present day. He's not talking about the thousands of people massacred in his country of Sudan. You got other things to worry about, little bitch boy.
And I said earlier that he's FBA, but now I take that back. FBA wouldn't even want his ass up over there because he's a migrant, immigrant, whatever you want to call it. He ain't one of us. He's not FBA and he sure ain't MBA. But all that shit he talking about, he need to go take out all that aggression on what's going over there with his people and stop focusing on what we got going on over here. And to let you know, young man, what everything we're doing here is for our people, is for our community to uplift ourselves. And I never seen so many goddamn haters in my life come out the woodworks mad about us uplifting ourselves and learning our history and our genealogy. And it's always good to know your history when it comes to any aspects in life so you can know what to do and what not to do. So for people to get up here and be naysayers and try to defer us from that, y'all full of shit. Y'all the people that lead everybody into the fire, and we trying to lead everybody into the light up over here and wake everybody up. So yeah, you can miss me with all that bullshit. Go read a book. Go read a few books. It's good for you. We are who we are.
Hey, I just really love how they think that they can just sneak past our defenses. They really think that we can't tell. They really can't think. Uh, that, do they really think that we don't know who members of our community are? Guys, we can tell one of our people from a mile away. It don't matter if you're from the South and I'm from the West Coast. If you're from the East Coast, I'm from Midwest. It don't matter. It don't matter where we are in the world. If we see one of our people, we give each other a nod of acknowledgement. If we see our people anywhere in the world in distress, we come to their aid. I remember not too long ago, I was driving and it was like some white crackhead yelling at some black couple. I stopped my car. Hey, you crackheaded bitch, you better leave them the fuck alone. We stand on business for ours. Y'all remember when the old black security guard was at a lake or something? Was that a dock? Remember the brother who threw up his hat and then some white boys jumped him? And then some random black folks saw and jumped in the water and swam over to beat on them white boys? We stand for ours. We ride for ours. We know who our people are. And you ain't it. You ain't it, little tink tink. You ain't it. But go ahead, Empress, provide us with some closing remarks, and then I'm going to wrap up this broadcast unless we got some more callers.
I've enjoyed this live and all of them you've been doing, especially since you got back in town. The information that's going out has really been good. The spontaneous callers that been coming in, I've been learning a lot from them. The ones that are positive and the ones that are negative. We got a lot of work to do. It just shows me it's still a lot of work to be done. I want to tell everybody to ignore the naysayers and focus on you. Focus on your family's history. Book a consultation with Mike. Learn your genealogy, learn your heritage, and help spread the word for everybody to do it, because there is a lot of us out here. There's a lot of indigenous Black Americans out here whose heritage has been stolen from us because of reclassification, and we need to claim it back, and we need to unify, and we need to teach our children and the generations to come who we are, because they're trying to erase our history and take everything away from us. So we need to come together as one and learn more about self. Self is really important. And once you know more about yourself, you love yourself more and you love your community more. Thank you, Mike. Good night, everybody.
Hold on, I'm on mute. Well, thanks for calling in, Empress. It's always nice talking to you, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I have for you this evening. As always, I'm going to close out the broadcast the way that I do more often than not. I'm going to pack me a cone of some Mary Jane tested at 32% THC. And while I pack this cone, give me some feedback How long have you been watching tonight's broadcast? 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours? If you learned something new, let me know what it was. And also, what do you find to be the most sensational part of tonight's broadcast? Do you think it's the last Sudanese boy trying to cosplay as one of us, but not really one of us? Do you think it's the replay of earlier today with the Greek boy? We had the Moorish sovereign citizenship girl crash out talking about corporations and identity. Oh Lord, that one was just mind numbing. That is just mind numbing. Jesus. Let me know. As always, I'm gonna listen to a tune while I pack this cone. Jesus, this was crazy, y'all. This was crazy. Oh my gosh, that little Sudanese migrant boy had the biggest identity crisis of them all. You gonna get up here cosplaying as a Black American with Nigerian West African slave heritage, but clearly you identify with the country of Sudan because you posting a whole bunch of Sudanese shit. Make it make sense. Come on. Make it make sense. Hey, I'm so fed up with the Africans. I don't even want y'all to go back to Africa. We need to get these motherfuckers on a rocket ship and send them to the moon.
Strapping we up, never forget all the memories. Sitting, I sit by my cup, thinking I should be a better me. Truly, I'm blessed from the start. So much to say in these melodies. Oh, stare at the sky, the moon singing sweet. Oh my God, such a sweet moment. Angels, they say I'm not ever weak. Such a lonely boy. Heaven knows I might never sleep. Trouble in my soul. Hey, I've been praying. Life can be draining. Oh, hey, we relate. Try and keep falling. Oh, I'm ashamed. Hated what I would see, and nobody knows. So I go. How can I get to the moon? How can I get through to the moon? Early afternoon. Take it to the moon. Don't leave so soon. Don't leave so soon. How can I get through? Early afternoon. Take it to the moon.
Hey, is this not the biggest identity crisis you've ever seen in your life? Copper, an American Indian, says he said he was American, that is Nigerian, but went to Morocco and is really from Sudan. Oh shit. I gotta repeat that. Hey, you clocked it even better than I did. Talk about an identity crisis. He claims he's an American from Virginia for hundreds of years, but he's really a Nigerian, but he goes to Morocco and really he's from Sudan. Oh shit. Hey, that's like the best comment of the night. Come on.
So soon, don't leave so soon, don't leave so soon.
Because it has to be 80 degrees to create a hurricane. Okay. We will float over water, headed to the shore. As we reach on Nirvana, take it so pure, lift up the ground. I know you will.
I chose not to be a slave. Dropped the wave runners, now we run away. Like we ain't had all the hood rats and mud rats. Like you ain't had them with good stats and nothing. Nobody gon' ruin me. I just call my wife up, let's get Hoover free. I put all my ice up in my Louis V. I just caught my mama crib, I'm back over east. See this in 3D. All lights out for me. All lights out for me. Lightning strikes the beach. 80 degrees. Warm it up for me. Finally free. Found the God of me. And I want you to see. I can walk on water. 1,000 miles from shore. I can float on the water. Father, hold me close. Don't let me drown. I know you won't.
Yeah, walking on the bridge, I threw my sins over the deep end. Sipping till my stomach hurt this month, I done lost 3 friends. Early morning brainstorming, normally I can't sleep in. Sometimes I just wanna restart it, but it all depends. If I'ma be that same young hungry from West End. But my heart is rose and the crazy part ain't got no pen. Maybach interior came with sheepskin. Still remember when I just had 3 bands. Now I'm the one everyone call on cause I got deep pants. Bro told me the way to beat the game is on the defense and never face my.
Hey, shout out to Dazzle. Dazzle says, it's so many haters of us out there. Guys, give me some feedback. Am I not a righteous defender of our community? Aren't I like on the front lines of all the haterism, just blocking all the shots and hitting the matrix bullet time and shit? I mean, guys, there's so much hate out there and I catch it all, absorb it, and redirect it right to they dumbasses with facts, evidence, sources, receipts. I mean, guys, if there's anybody to take the shots, if there's anybody, I guess it's gonna have to be me.
My name that they might call me, but they gon' respect it. And I feel like you better off trying to call. I might not get the message. And she just tried to run off with my heart, but I blocked off the X. Yeah.
I know you won't. I know you won't. I know you won't. I know you won't. I know that you look over us. So we silently rain down the rain.
Hey, Empress refers to me as chief. Is that not what it means to be a chief? A chief isn't somebody that gets up and tries to make themselves a chief. A chief is someone who's elected as such by the people, by the community. The chief is the one that acts as the representative of the tribe, goes and deals with them pilgrims, goes and negotiates the treaties, lets you know when it's time for war, when it's time for peace. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it.
I was up for self. I was up for sale, but I couldn't tell. God made it rain, the devil made it hell. Dropped out of school, but I'm the one at Yale. Made the best tracks, it still went off the rail. Had go down, down, down. This a new town, town, town. This a new 10, 10, 10. I going in. Here I go on a new trip. Here I go acting too lit. Here I go acting too rich. Here I go with a new chick. And I know what the truth is. Still playing after 2 kids. It's a lot to digest. When your life always moving. Architecture digest. But I needed home improvement. $60 million home. Never went home to it. Genius gone clueless. It's a whole lot to risk. Alcohol Anonymous. Who's the busiest loser? He it swayed by the rumors, read into it too much. Fiending for some true love. Ask him, what do you love? Hard to find what the truth is, but the truth was that the truth suck. Always in the do stuff, but this time it was too much. Everybody so judgmental. Everybody so judgmental. Everybody hurts, but I don't judge rentals. It was all so simple. We see it in 3D. The dawn is bright for me. No more dark for me. I know you're watching me. 80 degrees, burning up the leaves. Finally I breathe. Finally I breathe. As I go out to sea, I can walk on love.
Hold on, y'all. Call me petty. I gotta play a different song. Because I swear with these Africans, I just heard so many Africans on my line crying tonight. I just heard so many Africans on my line calling in crying. They're upset. We're delineating. They don't know what to do. The Africans call in, right? The Africans call in and they say, I've been trying to make you love me. But everything I try takes you further from me. I mean, you Africans just have the biggest identity crisis in the world. You trying to get so close to a community that wants nothing to do with you.
Someday I wanna wear a starry crown.
Someday I wanna lay down like God did on Sunday. Sunday, I remember these songs. Sunday, that way, yeah, way, that day. Someday, I wanna tell everybody. Someday, I wanna hit the red dot on everybody. Someday, I've been trying.
And it's the African singing to us right now.
To make you love me, but everything I try just takes you further from me. Someday we gon' set it off. Someday we gon' get this off. Baby, don't you bet it off on the path of fentanyl. You might think they wrote you off. They gon' have to roll me off. Someday the drama be gone and they'll burst. Sometimes I take all the shine, talk like I drank all the wine. Years ahead, but way behind. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No half truths, just naked minds. Caught between space and time. This now is good and mine, but maybe someday. I've been trying to make you love me, but everything I try just takes you further from me.
Whoa. Once again I am a child. I let go of everything that I know. Yeah, of everything that I know. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. We're still the kids we used to be. Yeah, yeah. I put my hand on a stove to see if I still bleed. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. We're still the kids we used to be. Yeah, yeah. I put my hand on a stove to see if I still bleed. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. We're still the kids we used to be. Yeah, yeah. I put my hand on a stove to see if I still bleed. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. We're still the kids we used to be. Yeah, yeah. I put my hand on a stove to see if I still bleed. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free.
They don't want us to be who we're supposed to be, but we are who we are, and that's the way that it's going to be.
God damn it, I gotta run that back. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that exactly what we're dealing with? They don't want us to be who we supposed to be. And that's why y'all spend all day and all night calling into me, trying to convince us that secretly our ancestors came from another country. I'm sorry, guys. It's within our culture to rhyme. So, you know, I didn't even try to rhyme that shit right there. I mean, just think about it, y'all. That's why the Europeans call in, the Africans call in, everybody call. They don't want us to be who we're supposed to be, but we are who we are, and that's the way that is going to be. Period.
They don't want us to be who we're supposed to be, but we are who we are, and that's the way that it's going to be. They don't want you seeking for the truth, and it's hard to find it hidden right in front of you.
Oh, that's a bar. Wait a minute. Hey, we ain't even heard Lauryn Hill's part yet. Wait till Lauryn Hill gets on the track. He said, what? They don't want you searching for the truth, and it's hard to find it when it's hidden right in front of you. God damn if that ain't a bar. God damn if that ain't prophetic. Truth hiding right in front of us. Where do we come from? Right here. Shit, I gotta run that back, y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta run that back. I gotta run it back. Shout out to the late great Bob Marley. This is what Bob Marley's great grandson right here. This is YG Marley, Lauryn Hill's son.
They don't want us to be who we're supposed to be, but we are who we are, and that's the way that it's going to be. They don't want you seeking for the truth, and it's hard to find it hidden right in front of you. And they're showing us to
That same bullet killed a mumba. That same bullet stole Fred Hampton's thunder. That same bullet put Sam Cooke 6 feet under. That same bullet took Medgar Evers out. Bobby, another Kennedy, split the nation of Islam up with the enemies. That same bullet traumatized would-be men, turned would-be revolutionaries into Barbie and Ken. That saw Peter in a heater. We lost so many leaders. Many niggas turned automatons, afraid to get shot down like Malcolm X in the Autobahn. That same bullet took so much young black potential just because they're black. They're perceived as a threat and containing that power in a premature death. Some just walk down the street, some for resisting arrest, some at home in their beds, some just for taking a breath, or for daring to dream, or for having success. This construct is tricky, it was made for a few. If you don't hold your peace, they'll come after you too. That same bullet is for population control, and we'll all have to face that dark night of the soul. If you gon' walk with your soul, if you haven't been told, you gon' have to have faith. It's calculated and cold. That same bullet tries to control the appeal of men like Huey Newton, his man Bobby Seale. That same bullet even shot at Bob Marley for preaching one love as a single authority. And that bullet doesn't have to be literal. They'll try to take a man down just for being political. Assassinate character with the click of their thumbs like a gun to make the people go deaf, blind, and dumb. So overcome that we content with the crumbs. I keep reminding my sons that's how business gets done, and reminding my daughters to watch for verbal assassins. Should they decide not to cash, and they like puppets, they control the strings, levers, and pulleys. And if seduction don't work, then they'll be back to bullying.
Early in this morning, as I open up my eyes, something just feels right. 'Cause I can see the dawning. It's not so far away. And all my life I've been waiting for a day like today.
So I'll live like it's the last time for a long time at the wrong time. When's the right time? Is it my time? And if I'm dreaming, then please don't wake me up. Oh, last time I seen the sun, I was free and on the run. My sins and all I've done, Lord forgive me one more time. Last time I seen the sun, I was free and on the run. My sins and all I've done, Lord forgive me. And let me see the dawning.
Yeah, it's not so far away. All my life I've been waiting for a day like today. So I live like it's the last time for a long time at the wrong time when the right time is
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you for showing up and showing out. I will see you next time. Peace.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British men. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners. Raised up the children to worship their images. Set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them. And this shit get way deeper than your pigment.